FYF Sports, man, we back. A lot of information to cover today, man. Big trade talk, a lot of trade rumors, a lot of crazy stuff going on out there. Been hearing a lot of some of the craziest things, and it might be some truth to it because it's just been so quiet. You know, this is strange for the NBA, to be so quiet. Everything that we hear about these trade talks, everything that we hear about free agency, it's all been just media banter. It really hasn't been coming from teams or I mean, we haven't really been hearing a lot coming from ESPN, Adrian Wojnarowski, and a lot of those guys that report on some of these rumors. It's been real quiet. If you guys didn't check out my video today, that video on the escrow, on the salary cap, on how that's going to affect player salaries, that's going to be real big. That's going to be real big going into free agency this year. It's going to be a lot of players making their decisions. A lot of players are going to be making their decisions contractually based on that escrow. And salute to everybody in the chat. As you guys get in here, I'm going to drop the link when we get to around 100 people. You know how I normally do. But I mean, I really want to touch on some of these topics. And the first thing I want to talk about is a lot of these players that definitely need to get traded ASAP. Some of these players need to get traded ASAP before they lose value. Don't hold on to these older players longer than you have to. If you're not a championship contender this year, get rid of them. Get what you can for them while they still have value. Otherwise, if these guys get hurt, you're going to be stuck with a compromised product. And you guys see that, you know, my number one topic of the day is Blake Griffin. He can help a team, but he can also be a detriment to a team, especially if you're not a championship contending team. I don't see him giving Detroit any value whatsoever. Blake Griffin should be demanding a trade, but with his salary and with some of the implications with that escrow, if that escrow jumps up to 40%, guys like Blake Griffin are going to be tough to trade because he's not going to be willing to come off any of that money. He's not going to be willing to come off any of that money. All right, I'm about to go ahead and drop the link early here. He said, I'm not feeling Blake Griffin at all. I mean, I'm not either, Elder. But again, Detroit is going to have to, they're going to have some decisions to make. Detroit has some decisions to make. And can they hold on to that commodity? And even if they hold on to it, are they a contending team? How many more years does Blake have before his knees finally give out? All right. They're going to have to find a way to move him, to get some type of value for him. Let me go ahead and drop the link. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. So we can really chop it up on some of these topics. We got a number of players that we need to discuss. We got some NBA draft news, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, some news coming out the draft. So, and also some more trade rumors. I just dropped the link in the chat, man. Tayana Jones, Cozy Swish. Hey, man, appreciate you guys for jumping in early. They believe they're a play away from making the playoffs. I agree. But again, making the playoffs and winning it all, two different things. I don't think Detroit sees themselves as winning a championship next year or even being a contender to win a championship. That's just my opinion. And again, with Blake Griffin's injury history, I have to get rid of him while he's healthy. He just has his injury history is too crazy. If you could put him on a contending team where he can play 25 to 30 minutes a game in the regular season, and maybe he can up those numbers, up those minutes in the playoffs, I mean, that's probably the best scenario. Lakers trying to sign Tristan Thompson. Yeah, everybody's trying to sign Tristan Thompson for the low Octavius X-made. He's a hot commodity right now. All right, but the Lakers again, when you look at this escrow, this is going to affect what the Lakers can do. There's not going to be too many people really accepting less money. Not too many people are going to be willing to accept less money this year because of that escrow. The escrow is normally 10%. The escrow is normally 10%. It's going to jump up to 35 to 40%. That's a lot of salary getting withheld. But we got Jay in here early. Also, we got a winner from earlier. I said the first person to post FYF gang in the chat wins a $25 cash app. And I think that was Michael. Michael Carew, who won that. Michael Carew won that $25 cash app. So make sure you hit us up in the email. You see our email in the description of the video and send us your cash app information so we can get you that prize. Appreciate you for getting in here early. Again, we just want to, give back whenever we can. And we're going to be doing a few more giveaways. We just crossed 15K today. So again, as our appreciation, we only crossed 15K because you guys are liking the videos. You guys are sharing the videos, and we only growing because of that. So we're going to give back whenever we get a chance to. But hey, go ahead, Jay. Let me know what you got on this.
Yeah, it's not really a trade. It might be a pickup through free agency, but I think a sneaky good pickup, if they're not washed, is Serge Ibaka.
And what team are you referring to again?
He's going to be a free agent, so it won't be like a trade, but I feel like he'll be a sneaky good pickup through free agency.
You're talking about Blake?
No, Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka. Okay, got you. No, he's a free agent. No, Serge is a free agent. See, I was more so wanting to focus on
just the trades,
players under contract. So we got a number of guys under contract. We got Blake. He's 31 years old. He has a $171 million contract. We know last year he sat out most of the year due to a knee injury. Even when he played, Detroit was not very competitive. Even with him combined with Andrew Drummond. So my thing is, I think is it time to unload this guy? He's 31 years old. He's headed towards the tail end of his career. And the tail end of Blake's career is going to be more towards like 33, 34 because of the knees. I don't see him playing deep into his 30s. I don't see his knees holding up that long. There's a possibility. I just don't see it.
He's 31 already?
Blake Griffin's 31 years old, yes.
Wow.
Time flies, I know.
I don't know. Can you move that contract?
I mean, again, you may have to move it at a loss. You may have to sacrifice something, but I think it's called addition by subtraction. This is just my opinion. If you guys got better ideas, but I just don't see a positive scenario with him staying on the Pistons. I don't think they're not a team that's going to win now.
I feel like the Pistons can gain by addition by subtraction, but I think Blake might end up in a lose-lose situation almost regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know too many contending teams, their bigger contracts are players they want to keep usually. So it'll kind of be a lateral move for him, just going to another bad situation for him anyway. And he's not going to want to buy out in any type of way.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike Butter, what you got on this? And then again, if you guys see the link in the chat, man, make sure you hit the link in the chat. I want to see some new faces in here so we can chop it up on basketball. I see Wayne 3000. Hit that link. Nick T, you haven't been in here, man. Make sure y'all hit that link, jump in so we can chop it up.
What's good, everybody?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, but so Blake Griffin. Let me know what y'all think about this. I think that the Jazz should get him, and the trade I'm proposing is the Jazz give up Mike Conley, the number 23 pick, for Blake Griffin and D Rose. The salary matches because they're giving away Mike Conley.
Ooh, you think the Pistons was gonna give up D Rose and Blake for Mike Conley? Ooh, that's tough.
They said Dwayne Casey will be able to use them, but
we know that they need a point guard desperately. We know Detroit need. I don't know if they need a point guard that desperately. That's tough. Again, it could work. The numbers probably would work, but man, that's a hefty price for Mike Conley, who also has been injury prone the last couple of years, and he hasn't been playing up to what a lot of people thought he would play. We got SB. SB, what you got on this?
Man, Detroit was dumb as hell for even even trading for dude in the first place. Like when they did that, I'm like, man, y'all just put y'all franchise in the band for the next 5 years. Like these general managers, bro, like I don't understand like what they be thinking. Like you added Blake Griffin with DeAndre Drummond with Andre Drummond, you trading Tobias Harris, then you get Blake Griffin a dumb contract. Like you really they be putting their franchises in bands. Like Like even with Philly and that Al Horford deal, like I don't know what they be thinking is gonna happen with these players, bro.
Yeah, that's again. I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. When that trade first happened, and just on paper, when we look, obviously we fall in love with the paper rosters. I thought that could work. I mean, with Drummond inside, with Blake attacking from the outside, I think they just kind of fell apart when all the injuries hit, and not just Blake. The injuries hit the young guys. Then you had Andre Drummond in a kind of a contract negotiation issue with the Pistons. So I think he just had so much going on over there, and it just kind of fell apart underneath him. Hey, we got a new guy in the chat. This is the first time, at least, I've seen you in here. We got Wayne Chain 3000, man. How you doing, and what you got on this topic?
Oh, man, what's going on? You heard me?
Yes, sir. We hear you. How you doing, bro?
Oh, man, I've been watching y'all for a little while now. I watched y'all on Ticket Channel before this. But anyway, on DeMar, I think I like DeMar DeRozan. I think if they can get him to like a contender, because I think he don't shoot too many threes, but I think he's still a lethal scorer. So I think he can help out a contender.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan's 31 years old as well. He's kind of in the same situation, but the one thing is, and if you guys didn't watch my video from earlier today, he talked about how the NBA escrow is going to go up from 10% to 35 to 40%. And the escrow is just a percentage of a player's paycheck that the NBA withholds in case the NBA loses money. And because the NBA is operating at a loss right now, because that escrow is going to jump from 10% of a player's salary to about 40% of a player's salary. Now, a guy like Steph Curry, who normally would make $40 million this year, if that escrow jumps to 40%, he's only going to bring in about $25 million. And then you cut that in half with taxes. That's going to affect a guy like DeMar DeRozan, right? So he can opt in for $28 million with the escrow. That's going to eat into that. So now he's making what? About $16 million. Cut that in half with tax. See, and so it's going to be harder for some of these players to opt out. These guys are not going to be willing to opt out for less money in a year like this year because that escrow is going to really hurt them. So I don't know I think DeMar DeRozan is going to be a guy where you have to trade for him. But you also you got to understand, I don't even know what teams would be willing to trade for him with the understanding that it is a 1-year rental. Usually if I'm going to get a guy for a 1-year rental, I need to know that he's going to make me a championship contender.
That's true.
And I don't know if DeMar DeRozan can help some championship teams, but I don't know if he can make a team a championship contender by himself.
Yeah, the two teams I've been seeing getting thrown around have been the Bucks and the Nets.
For trades?
Yeah, to get DeMar as the third option.
It's going to be tough for the Bucks to trade. The Bucks are way over the cap. So any trade to bring in DeMar DeRozan, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of players. And I just don't see them giving that up.
Yeah, because that's going to be like their whole bench if they do.
Mm-hmm. We got Relos with the $5 super chat. He says, what about CP3 to the Pelicans for Drew Holiday, Lonzo, Josh Hart, and a pick? What y'all think about that trade?
That's a steal for the Thunder.
Yeah, the Pelicans not in the win now mode. So to get CP3 make no sense. Yeah, that'd be so dumb.
Because Presti would get another steal if you get that.
Yeah.
It's like a Danny Ainge ripping teams off.
Yeah, that's highway robbery if you can pull that trade off for CP3, who's 35 years old.
Yeah.
And he's going to be making close to $40 million this season. I don't think that's possible. I think the CP. I don't know. I think a team is gonna. I think the team whatever team makes the trade for Chris Paul is not gonna be able to win the championship. They're gonna have to give up too much to get him. The Lakers shouldn't do it, especially if Rondo's out there. The Lakers shouldn't do it if there are other guys out there that are just as capable that can do. So
the
I don't
Lakers
think they should
do it. Period. No matter what come up, they better stay away from Chris Paul's contract.
Stay away from his contract, and he's a point guard. I mean, you know how point guard. Like I said, why am I going to bring Chris Paul in to be a backup point guard?
Right.
That don't make sense. That makes no sense.
He's not no spring chicken, man. People need to stop acting like it's 2012, bro. The man played great last year. I give him that, but I mean, really, to be honest, man, how many more years do he got at that level? He already sacrificing defensive wise. So
I mean,
you can't be relying on nobody at his age to bring you that. I mean, there's only one LeBron, man.
The main thing on that for me is Rondo has shown more availability for you, and you get just as
Right.
good as a point guard. So I keep Rondo.
yeah, exactly. And they were able to get Rondo on a steal last year for $2 million. Now we know why he opted out. He opted out because he's not going to play for another $2 million. He's going to play for more than that. But I think I would rather overpay Rondo as opposed to trying to go get Chris Paul. I would rather overpay Rondo and just keep what I have. That just makes more sense. From him. Exactly. And he's bought into his role coming off the bench. So he's fine with that. As long as he's fine with that and there's no friction, you keep everything the same. That's a solid move right there.
Yeah, they're saying if he does leave my Lakers, we might end up with Jeff Teague or Dennis Schroeder.
I like those options though.
Yeah, to be honest, bro, I'll take Dennis Schroeder over Rondo. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder more like a scorer, and then Chris Paul more like I'm team involved.
Yeah, because I mean, if you just with Rondo's role, what really made him competent. Of course, yeah, he had the playmaking, but what really made him, you feel me, was the scoring he added. And Dennis Schroeder, I think, can do that at a more consistent level. He can be a decent playmaker, like he can be a serviceable playmaker. But what the Lakers really needed was that scoring off the dribble that Rondo was providing.
Yeah, that scoring and that playmaking. He has some. He was. There were times where the Lakers couldn't score the ball, and he was able to calm LeBron and AD down, make them run a half court set and get a good shot in. There were times where he was that calming factor when LeBron James tried to go ISO too much deep into the third and fourth quarters. So they just kind of need him there.
I think you should keep him now that you mentioned that, because people still don't really buy into his shot. So he can still kind of move around the court freely, whereas people still kind of respect Chris Paul, so they'll still kind of play him up. So in a way, it kind of gives them a subtle openness to their offense where he's the last resort to score, but he can finish at the rim. So it works for what they do in a way, in a weird way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, I mean, everything, like any of them reports that, you feel me, got Chris Paul to the Lakers, I put no stock in that because, I mean, there's no way that the Lakers is trying to look for anybody who got any long-term money tied up. They trying to stay as cap flexible as possible for upcoming free agents.
Yeah, salute True to King.
I don't believe none of them reports.
One minor move. I would like to see a team try to go for PJ Tucker.
Just a lot of wing defenders out there, though.
Is he under contract? I'm thinking he's under contract.
He's not? He's up?
No, I think he's under contract still, but it would have to be a trade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a guy who may be getting washed. You don't know what you might get next season, but I think he does help a contending team, though.
Okay,
Plus, he's gonna knock down that corner shot, which a lot of teams want.
And he that will work perfectly with what the Lakers do. But again, that's going to be a tricky trade for them to pull off with not a lot of players actually on the roster right now. That would have to be maybe
the Lakers
sign and trade type of
trades.
Yeah,
they need to stay away from trades. If they're not getting free agents, they just need to run it back. Unless they get something crazy.
I've been hearing that the Phoenix Suns are interested in Chris Paul and Westbrook.
Ouch.
That's true. Phoenix Suns.
How would y'all like Russ and D-Book teaming up?
Well, no, I haven't heard Russ at all. That's not true. I have heard CP3 here in Phoenix. With the because obviously what I know for a fact is that they're looking to move on from Kelly Oubre. He's definitely on the trade block, and there's a high likelihood he's not going to be on the roster when the season starts. So if you can package up Kelly Oubre on a new contract, maybe send over someone else. I was hearing was a Rubio Oubre for CP3. Now again, that's another steal. I feel for OKC.
Yeah,
but Rubio's another one of those agents vets who I think he's hit his peak in the league. I see him only declining from here. And I
Of
think
course, yeah.
if you can unload Rubio now, I think that'll be great timing. But and then you also have to worry about CP3 aging on you quickly if you and you're stuck paying him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
If
you
I'm a
said,
GM,
Rubio.
bro, I'm not trading for Chris Paul contract under no circumstances.
You feel he's unmovable?
Yeah, that contract, bro, is terrible, bro. Him and the Clippers, bro, they saying some of the worst deals, bro. Like in Houston, like what did they be thinking, bro? I don't be under these GMs in the NBA are terrible, bro. I'm not giving these niggas none of this money, bro. Y'all can walk, bro.
You know what it is,
bro.
though? It's I'm gonna tell you what, it's these GMs have been put on notice. If they don't make moves, if they don't try to take risk to make their team better, players is gonna leave. Players
That's
will
the
leave.
one thing I do like that the super era has created. It's created a pressure in the front office. If you don't do it, we'll do it. That's the one
That's
thing I
all.
do like.
It's just accountability because we seen it. And I mean, even Elder, if he came in the chat, he would have to admit it that GMs in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s got a pass. They got a pass for being trash. They got to put GMs in the 90s that, you know, although there was free agency, they got away with being able to sucker players into long-term deals for little to no money. And players would end up outplaying their contract. They never renegotiated new contracts. This is why you had guys like Hakeem and Pippen demanding trades or wanting to hold out because the teams weren't paying them fairly. But that was just the era where they were able to sucker players. And now you're not able to sucker players anymore. Players are smarter. Agents are smarter. They're signing short-term deals and they're trying to maximize their money. So that's all it is. It's just they're making them account. I like it. But see, I like it when
I don't get a problem with it. It's just me as a general manager. If I'm putting in them shoes, I'm falling on my sword. I'm gonna build through the draft, bro. And if they fire me for not getting free agents, bro, and overpaying players, I'll get fired, bro.
That's gonna be tough.
Ain't no way I'm giving Chris Paul that money.
It's tough because draft picks aren't even guaranteed. Look at Boston; they're like 2 for 10.
That's facts.
And 2 of those picks were like guaranteed good picks.
That's them as general managers. You gotta that's what I would put more. You feel me? Emphasis on really getting because a lot of these people in these front offices, bro, nowadays, bro, they really just analytics guys, bro. They don't really know basketball like that. I would have real basketball minds. You feel me? Around like a lot of these players, you feel me? That don't have jobs. You feel me? And that's just analysts right now, bro. I had them on my staff, bro. You feel me? Like I'll be on player development. A lot of these, they won't like already made products, bro. Like Sam Presti, that's one thing I give to him. Like he's good at seeing talent, bro. Like he can see talent through the draft. And that's really what's gonna make you sustain.
I think when you talk about the draft, though, I tell people this a lot, man. It's so much bigger than just trying to have an eye for talent. You also gotta have an understanding for who that player is as a person.
Right.
Is the money going to change when they get to the league? Are the women going to change when they get to the league? Like when we look at a guy like we just talked about him on the last stream, Alonzo Trier. The guy is extremely talented, but the man got benched because of off the court issues messing with IG models. How do you gauge that in a player? You might have the most talented player, but if you can't put him on the court because of other issues, then it's all for nothing. So hold on, Anti-Social been quite quiet in here. What you got on this, Anti?
Oh, salute to everybody, dog. I'm just listening, dog. I don't even know what's been. I've been out of loop the last couple of days. I've been working, bro.
Nah, that's what's up, man. I see you grinding.
It's your money, bro.
That's crazy. It's crazy like hell in Dallas right now, bro.
Man, I can't wait till I get to Dallas again. I'm definitely gonna hit that restaurant. If you talking about, I got to see what them meals hitting for.
I got you, bro. Whenever you ready, you hear me. But not like yesterday, bro. Saturday night, I made damn near like $1,500 off of just going into other restaurants because a lot of people cook starting to be out because of COVID. So I've been getting hit up by other chefs, other people I done work with asking me to come in for other people. So like they've been paying me straight under the table. So like, man, see,
off of referrals,
I work like 20 hours Saturday night. I get home till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Hey, do what you got to do. Get them coins up, man. I respect it.
Yep.
That's grinding right there.
I know I said I've been listening to y'all because I don't really know what's been going on, you know what I'm saying, lately because of everything, you know what I'm saying? But listening to that Chris Paul trade, like I said, we were talking about this earlier. I won't touch that damn contract for some reason, bro.
Yeah,
That's too much. That's too much money for Asian point guard, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who even gave him that contract, bro.
Houston.
Daryl Morey, dumbass.
Crazy, man.
Crazy, man.
Oh, we got Blue Diamond Jim with the $2 super chat. He says people are forgetting how amazing CP3 was this year.
He made an NBA team.
The thing
He made
is,
an
will he
NBA
be
team this
amazing
year.
next year?
He won $40 million. Great, fuck you, me.
Will he
I mean,
be
you can't
amazing
say that though. And talk, he did like
Man, that
help
man
a
won no
team that
40
was.
million. Nah, he won no $40 million,
He's not
bro.
finna last.
What you
bro.
mean? Okay,
that player's not gonna last, bro. If you banking on him
listen,
to be that player for the next
ain't ball necessarily
even half
banking,
the
but we
season,
got
bro.
you got to look at what he's doing now. We can't just you got to judge it what he's doing like right now. You know what I mean? Then you can sit there and say,
you do got it now, but see that's the problem with general managers. They banking too much on what he's doing now. You got to look at what's gonna happen to the future.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at
so
the
you got 2
probability
more
of him
years left in
playing
his
at that
contract.
level. The probability of Chris Paul playing at the level he did in the playoffs at his age, bro, for the next 2 to 3 years is slim to none, bro.
What's his contract like? 2 years left? 3 years left in his contract?
2 years, I think. 2
So
years
here's the
left.
thing about Chris Paul though. Chris Paul is still arguably maybe a top 5 point guard in the league. He's that good. If he do drop
Yeah.
off, if he still drop off, he can still help a team out to win.
I
Like,
agree.
you know what I mean?
But I'm not paying
Skill
that money. That's the
isn't-
thing.
It's not
isn't
necessarily. It's not necessarily about paying necessarily the money. Like y'all look at the money too much. He can still help a team win.
I'm looking at the
Like,
health versus the money. That's
yeah,
me.
okay. Now the health, I can give
I'm
you
talking
that
about all
when it
of
comes to the health. The
Because his
health
game, even
that's
if
the
his
biggest
shot
issue.
diminishes, he's so good in the pick and roll and he can finish. It's okay, but it's will he be available for me?
Exactly. That's the big question. But everything
Yeah,
else,
will he not be hurt? Yeah, will he not
right?
get hurt?
And I agree with that. But like when he's on the court, even if he say he do drop off, he still, like I said, if he drops off, like he still can help a team win. You know what I mean? Be a role player and win.
Because look, even when he had that bad season, in
but I'm
Houston,
not
he
paying
was
no
still
role player
directing
that
the game pretty
contract.
well.
Man, listen, if it's available,
I don't think it's about the money though. That's the thing.
Right, it's not about the money. If you can do it, and it's like, okay, we can win. Okay, he can make out that contract. Okay,
Here's
you
the
want
thing.
to win now.
Here's the thing. Here's the issue.
Player that might be less than him for less money.
Here's the issue. The contract is so enormous to
Right.
even trade for him. You have to give up so much just to make the money work because almost every team in the league is over the cap right now. There's only a handful of teams over the cap, and the teams that are under the cap, the only team that's under the cap that might want a CP3 is a Miami Heat team. And I don't think they're willing to sacrifice all of
they're
that.
not going to do it.
No, sir. You can keep him.
Right. But so if OKC just stuck with him, that's still, I mean, he's still,
that's still
for
good
what if he's worth that money for what he did for that team. At the end of the day,
but OKC's going into ultimate rebuild mode.
They may have to do it. Right, they may have to get rid of all the other people.
They are
on the team. Right, like but CP3, I don't think they can probably get rid of CP3. I think CP3 probably gonna be for the long run.
I think
how many years he got? 2 or 3?
Man, I think
maybe next year, not this year, but his last year's contract, he probably get traded.
I think he's going to the Knicks this year.
The last year his contract, he gonna get traded.
I think
he's not gonna get traded. He's not gonna get traded for this upcoming season. It's too much. His contract, like he about to make like what altogether 80 mil.
Yeah, he's old. He's old about over 80 mil. He's gonna be making. In his last year, he's gonna make 44 million.
Yeah, that's the only way. That last year. That's the last year. That last year they can trade him, but this right now, no, it's too much. They can trade for that last year, but right now it's too much. Right now.
Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be.
So they probably got no choice to get rid of Adams. Well, he got this is last year, right? His deal, right?
Yeah, I think Adams is on he has 1 year left. That's an expiring contract. That
Yeah, he
somebody.
probably. I won't be
He finna
surprised.
build around
I won't
Shaq.
be surprised he get traded.
True the
'Cause
King,
that-
I got a trade proposal for you.
What?
What's up?
This one might sound crazy, but it's a 3-team trade. So it would involve your Boston Celtics, OKC, and Atlanta Hawks. So the Hawks would get Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, and Daniel Theis. And then your Celtics are going to get Chris Paul, Steven Adams, Schroeder, and Kevin Huerter. And the Thunder get Capella, Dedmon, Romeo Langford, and then the picks from the Celtics. How you feel
So
about that?
you have
You're
Kemba
matching
Walker.
Trae
So
Young with
Kemba
another
Walker and
PG.
Trey.
You can't have
Hold
Kemba
up, but they
Walker
have
and Trae
Trey.
Young
They
in
have
the
Trey
same
Young.
They gonna get abused.
You can't have two undersized PGs like that. Even playing
Yeah,
combo, that's a
that
disaster.
ain't gonna.
They
Yeah,
gonna
that
get
ain't gonna
abused.
happen. That's
Pick and roll
they.
post up
Atlanta
all
Hawks would
game.
be stupid for that. Like you got
Yeah, that would be WP.
who gonna guard? Who gonna guard? Who gonna guard the 2 guard? Like
They really
like
Trey Young and Kemba Walker might be the two smallest starting point guards in the league.
Yeah.
probably.
Literally.
Yeah.
And their defensive liabilities just because of their size.
But
I mean, Kemba Walker. I mean, here's the thing about Kemba
Kemba
Walker,
Walker's
right?
not
Like
trash on defense, but he trash, but he just so
He's
small.
just small.
he,
That's the thing. You can't. He can't do nothing about that.
yeah, we'll see what Kemba Walker do this year. I think he. I mean, he was dealing with injuries and stuff going to the playoffs, but still,
I think he might be better next season though, just because it's
yeah,
still a new role
'Cause-
with as
I mean,
much.
he
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
bad.
they
He
was.
just wasn't elite.
Yeah, he wasn't. I mean, and the thing about it was like he was just missing the wide open shots. He was missing wide open opportunities. Like he was breaking his zone. Like he was easily breaking his zone down. Like
Facts.
Kimball, like you know what I mean. So it's like he was missing shots. So hopefully, I mean, the experience making you know what I mean. He'll get better.
So
I got
go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a more logical trade for you, True the King. Yeah, because last one that was my fault. So I was thinking like the Hawks can move Kemba, but I'm for this trade I got y'all getting Steven Adams, Dennis Schroeder, and the first round pick from the Knicks. And the Knicks get Chris Paul, Gordon Hayward, and Daniel. And then the Thunder get Kevin Knox, Dennis Smith Jr., Carson Edwards, and then some picks sprinkled in there. So how you feel about that? Because y'all got Schroeder coming off the bench.
Right.
Y'all got Adams. And y'all get a first round pick.
So who we getting rid of?
Y'all getting rid of Carson Edwards,
Right.
Gordon Hayward, and Daniel Theis. Those three.
Oh man, I ain't mad at that.
Hold on. So you're giving up 3 players just for Steven Adams?
No,
Dan Schroeder.
Steven Adams, Dennis Schroeder, and
I wouldn't be mad.
The 2020 first round pick. It's a 3-2 trade.
That's a good trade for
I
Boston.
wouldn't be mad at that.
That works.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I like that.
That's a nice trade.
I like that. When he's scoring off the bench, I mean that'd be Marcus Smart. If Marcus, I don't know who's gonna be the 2 guard start. Probably, I don't know who.
Rufus said that was a horrible trade. I think that was a great trade.
They get
Dan Schroeder play defense. You could put Dan Schroeder in the.
That's a nice.
That's not horrible, man.
Hey, but Elder, you got to
for
remember.
who though? For who though?
Let me tell
Dennis
Elder this.
like
Elder, you got to
6'3",
remember.
6'4".
The Knicks have openly stated they're willing to take on bad contracts to become instantly better. So to take on Hayward and CP3, that's possible. I can see them doing that to try to get better. And I know they want to get rid of Knox. He's trash. He's extremely bad. So I mean, if you
he need new scenery. Kevin Knox need new scenery. He need more. I don't know.
Okay, see, we get Kevin Knox, Dennis Smith, and Carson Edwards. It's some picks.
I wouldn't be mad at that though. I mean,
you give young talent to OKC.
Hey, you got Adams. Somebody play defense and can rebound. He fits perfectly on that Celtics. I mean, then you got Dan. He'll fit perfectly too. You know what I mean? If Kemba Walker's struggling, he can. You know what I mean? He can come like.
Yeah, when Kemba need a breather, he could come in.
Yeah.
And then y'all got Adams down hard screens and then roll into the basket.
Hey, Nico, what's his name? Nico something? Yes, this is live. So make sure you hit the link when you see it. You can come in the chat and chop it up with us.
The numbers don't add up. Hold on.
Hold on. How did the numbers not add up? Hold on. We're gonna look at the Knicks cap space. I think that works though.
Yeah,
I think it works.
they got 80. They got 80 mil or cap space, don't they?
Yeah, the Knicks here, they still have a lot of money, but
Hold on. That's a lot of money they bringing in though. Hold on, but it's not 80 million cap space they bringing in because Hayward's only making what? It's really about 60 in cap that they're bringing in.
Yeah, that's a good.
Hold on, but the Knicks had a lot of cap space. Let me look at the Knicks right now.
yeah, and Daniel Theis, I think I don't know his contract. I forget. Yeah, but I like the
It's going to
trade
be
for all
about if
teams.
the Knicks have enough cap space to make that work. That would be the big thing right there.
Oh yeah, I also forgot. Also they could get rid of Frank Ntilikina and Julius Randle in the trade. So.
I don't know. I would get rid of Frank. I don't know. Hey, what's up, C Hill?
What up, Seal?
What's up,
Hey, what's up, Q? What's up, y'all, man? I just jumped on here, man. What y'all got going?
We ain't just chopping it up about some of these potential trade scenarios with players who should get traded. Hold on 1 second. You got some background noise there, C Hill.
I do. I'm going on mute. I'm gonna go on mute.
All right, that's why I put you on mute earlier. But you just chime in whenever you got something for us. But the Knicks,
Lamont, you still trying to figure out if the money works?
damn, it's gonna be tough. So the Knicks, what they'll have to do is. So they'll have to decline Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson.
Hey, Lamar, I got one, but I know it ain't gonna happen. I got one, but I know it ain't gonna happen. Y'all niggas gonna sound reactive because what's in this year, but if we, the Clippers been talks with the Raptors, I would trade Lou and I would trade the 2 back-to-back seasons of the year for Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka.
Hold on, you would trade who?
I would trade Lou and Trez for Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka. Now, I know it don't fit.
Them contracts.
I know it don't fit.
more.
The problem is Serge Ibaka is a free agent.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah. But I would
is a free agent.
And so Trez
That's a great pickup for the Clippers, though.
I'm telling you, man, they both.
I can't hear C Hill. Hold on, I'm gonna put him on mute. Yeah, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. I don't think because you're dealing with multiple free agents.
Hey Lamar, I'm gonna be right back, Lamar. I got a call. I'm gonna be right back. That's why I couldn't hear.
All right.
Yep. The Raptors. What the Raptors need? The Raptors need a wing.
Raptors got cap space.
I can't say. I can't say. Well, they need a 2. They need a shooting guard. They need a shooting guard. I want to say they need a shooting guard. I want to say they need a wing.
Since the Clippers are in pretty much cap hell, couldn't they re-sign some guys and see if they can go after CP3?
Yeah, I just don't see that. Again, even if you re-sign guys, you have to come up with $40 million in salary. That means you're giving away about 3-4 players already just to bring in one.
Exactly. Man. Chris Paul stuck OKC for like 1 more year.
See, Chris, the only way I see Chris Paul trade working, like I could see Chris Paul going to like the Celtics, like for
that's the only team
when you see like you got a Kemba contract, you got a Gordon Hayward contract, you got bigger contracts where you give up fewer players, and you need a point guard in there. Like I just don't see it has to be big contract for big contract in that trade. Because otherwise, you're just gonna be giving up a bunch load of players for one guy.
Yeah, that's the only team I consider like you can legit like they have the like Celtics doing that.
Yeah,
get Kemba, get Kemba, Gore Hayward. Hey, we good. You know what I mean? Like get some pick, like add a pick in there.
But you gotta also think about the player that you bring in there. Like you can bring a Gordon Hayward to OKC. I don't think Gordon Hayward's going to want to play in OKC. So that's going to present more problems for OKC. Yeah. If you bring a Kemba to OKC, is he even going to want to play there? So now you got a bigger problem. So I wouldn't trade a headache to bring in a headache. I'm just going to just bring in, get what I want right out the gate.
Right.
Chris Paul got it. If he don't want to be in OKC, man, he got to live with that, man. He's not giving up no money, so he just got to roll with the punches, man. That's what it is.
I mean, that's what he's
He
doing,
can't be
though.
disgruntled. He got to be professional.
Oh, he's fine with it. Chris Paul, he's fine with being an OKC.
He played OKC before. People forget that when Katrina happened, he played in OKC.
Yeah,
so he already got love in that city. You know what I mean? He already got some type of like relationship in that city anyway. So
yeah, but I mean, Chris Paul. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, it comes between, you feel me, the money and him being in a winning situation at this late time in his career. So I mean, I definitely ain't gonna knock a player for getting a bag. If I was him, I'd keep getting a bag. You feel me? So I'd be secure with what I've accomplished so far in my career.
Right. If I'm Celtics, I wouldn't be too quick to pull that trigger on Kemba Walker. Not yet. I wouldn't. I mean, just
it's
still got faith in him.
Yeah, I still got faith in Kemba. I mean, like, got faith in him. He was in a new situation he had never been in before. You know what I mean? He wasn't like he didn't play like complete trash. You know what I mean? I can't say that. He was just overly. He knows.
Hold on, we got Sly in here. Sly hasn't been in a few days. What you got on this? What you got on this, Sly?
Oh, what's good, Lamont? Salute, man. What y'all talk about free agency? Or
just the main thing is we really talking about some of these older players that it could be on the tail end of their career, and how a lot of these teams should trade them now before it's too late. Especially the players with the bigger contracts. Like what do you got on some of these guys like DeRozan, Blake Griffin, CP3, even Rudy Gobert, who's 28 years old, man. These guys, you may have to move on from them before they lose value.
They're gonna move on from Rudy. They're gonna move on from Rudy Gobert, though.
It's rumors, though.
I mean, granted, yeah, he's not an offensive. He's not an offensive onslaught, but I mean, he's their rim protector down there.
They need him. Utah needs him. He make a lot. He make up a lot for their defensive woes. I think when Rudy Gobert leaves, you're gonna see that he was a big part of that defense.
Now he was a big part of defense, but he's also one of the biggest reasons why they lost too.
Yeah.
He can't guard the pick and roll. He got murdered in the pick and roll.
Yeah, he definitely did.
And allowed a 3-1 comeback. I mean, just go back and watch the footage. They pick and roll. They put Rudy Gobert in a pick and roll.
Yep, that back of that Denver, man, he couldn't. I mean, you couldn't. I mean,
plus, more than that, did they patch things up between Rudy and Donovan?
No, they straight. I think
I thought they were straight. How can Portland get better? We can talk about that too, because that's my squad.
And they gotta get rid of CJ McCollum.
They gotta get rid of CJ McCollum.
I mean, they should have. It's been like 3 years. I've been saying they gotta get rid of CJ McCollum, man. That's the only way they're gonna get better. You can't have the same shit out there and like expect you to do something with it. You know what I mean? Not saying they've been the same team. But
I've never been a proponent in the NBA of two small guards, bro, in the same backcourt. That shit not gonna work. Yeah, you gonna get it. You might put up, you feel me, decent offensive numbers, but all together that shit not gonna work, bro. You gotta have size in your backcourt.
They've tried to make it work for a few years, but I think now's the time you probably do got to move on.
Can't have two you can't have this two offense like you gotta let it go, man. I don't know what Portland, especially pay CJ McCollum all that money. I don't know how much he getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, CJ is making $29 million next year.
Yeah, that's
God.
I mean, that man never even been an all-star, no NBA player.
Didn't he just mess up his back too?
Hold up, CJ McCollum never been an all-star?
Nope, or never been an
all-NBA in the West, though. It's tough to make the all-star.
I mean, he's nice. Don't get twisted. He's nice, but it's just saying he got paid all that money. It's like, dang, I probably got paid all that money, $29 a year.
That seemed like a loyalty contract.
I mean, but like if CJ McCollum goes to a team like the Bulls or Orlando, does he become the best player on that team?
Yeah, he gonna be an all-star.
I think so.
Especially in the East.
I think so.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I mean,
again,
like
he kind
of is worth that money. He's just getting overshadowed by Dame.
Yeah, but it's not even that he's not worth that money. It's just the team he's on is not. as far as winning goes, they're not gonna win with that combination. Like
Who y'all trade him for
I
though?
respect it more if he was the lead combo guard, but you can't have two undersized combo guards in your backcourt at the same
What will
time.
y'all trade him for though? Like what to make him better?
No, there's
Yeah, it's like
another
weird. What
somebody.
we really treat them too?
Well, you got to think though.
Who
What's
gonna
the only
take?
team
Who
out there?
gonna take?
Well, you only got one team really looking for an all-star shooting guard, and that's the Hawks. I think you could really make I think you can make a solid trade with them. They got some pieces over there that you can really bring in.
And they got a pick.
Weren't they trying to move John Collins?
John Collins.
That's what I'm saying. That's the piece. But I don't think they're going to come off John Collins. I don't think they're going to come off.
I don't think they'll. I don't think.
What they're going to come off of is Clint Capella. That's what they can come off of. But
so they're going to have
Nurkic. You got Nurkic.
So you going to get rid of Nurkic then?
No,
I figured they'd come off quick.
I wouldn't trade that.
So my thing is this: you have Clint
trading
Capella and Nurkic. Like they don't even. That's that. They got. I don't know.
They got Hassan Whiteside down there right now.
You don't want
Why
him
would
on your team.
You put Capella at the 4, and you put Capella at the 4, and you put Nurkic at the 5.
Man, no.
You got Twin Towers down there.
Man,
it's not gonna work. Man. That's
hold on. The era of Twin Towers is dead. That's not gonna work.
That's dead. If you can't shoot, it's not. Listen, if you can't shoot,
they just.
If you a 4, if you can't guard Jason Tatum's that's playing a 4 or stuff like that, and you playing, you ain't going.
That's gonna be that's gonna be ISO. They're gonna be calling ISO every time. You got 2 bigs on the court, ISO every time.
Like you ain't no Anthony Davis type of. You ain't no Anthony Davis or Giannis type of player, man. That Twin Tower stuff is dead, man.
Hell, not even ISOs, just fast breaks. Keep the pace up. Get them.
I like that. Spot him, got him. Said Capella to the Celtics. I like that look. If you can get him over there, I like that. If you
But what is Boston willing to give up?
Marcus Smart probably gonna be in that deal.
Jaylen Brown.
Y'all need to give up Marcus Smart. Y'all do not need to give up Marcus Smart.
I'm just saying I'm just saying the Hawks will want Marcus Smart. I don't want to give up Marcus Smart myself. Yeah. But that's what the Hawks probably want.
Sometimes you gotta give up.
Hold on. What's wrong with Marcus Smart?
PG.
What's wrong with Marcus Smart?
Jaylen Brown with man.
Hold on. Slide. How many point guards that can do what Marcus Smart can do?
What you said? You said how many point guards can do what?
That can do what Marcus Smart can do.
What does Marcus Smart do? That's like
what?
He'll play. He's arguably one of the best defensive point guards in the NBA. Guards, period.
No, not arguably.
It is what it is. It is what it is. He is one of the arguably, like he's top 5 perimeter defender in the NBA.
And
at the age of point guard.
And Marcus Smart is one of them players that, if you go back and look at the Celtics play throughout their playoffs for many years, go look at most of the winning plays. Marcus Smart is in those plays. A lot of them stats, a lot of things that he does not show up in stats when it comes to like tipping the ball a certain way.
Right. He's a playmaker. He clutch.
Game player, man.
He a playmaker. He can rebound. He can shoot. You know what's crazy? This is a weird stat. You know he shoots 40%. He shoots like near 40% from 3 off the dribble.
That's nuts.
Some crazy stuff like that.
Hold on, let's give a Cash App shout out to Jacob Jennings, man. Appreciate that. Again, we appreciate your support, man. You welcome here. Hop on this panel anytime you're ready to chop it up about the Dallas Mavericks, because they look like they got some promise headed into the future. They can make some moves.
Yeah, they got cash. That's one of the teams that got cap space too, right?
Yeah, they got cap space. Yeah. They got you.
If they get Giannis, their problem.
Giannis ain't going nowhere, y'all.
No, I'm saying when he comes to free agent.
He's not.
Nah, listen.
Giannis
the Bucks promised
a free agent. Giannis is probably going to sign the Supermax when it's offered to him.
Okay.
Because they promised. They promised. The Bucks promised. The Bucks gonna give them somebody, yo. They promise. They don't care. They'll break records going off the luxury tax to keep Giannis on the team.
They'll make a move.
They will break or DeMar.
They will break records. They make listen.
Boston be getting shit for the low though. So.
Hey Lamar,
Danny Ainge be making moves. I can't even knock him for that. That nigga
I got a question.
I think we found ways to get.
What's up?
Okay.
Can Malcolm Brogdon end up going back to the Bucks? Is that even possible?
He could. They got to give that bag up. Listen, like you said, like don't be surprised the Bucks break records of going off the luxury tax. They want, like, they will do everything they power to keep Giannis.
Now's not the time to be cheap. You'll never develop and draft another generational talent like Giannis again.
Yeah, they got to go all in when they got to.
They will break records going off the luxury tax. They don't care.
Top 10 all time, bro.
Hold on, but who said that Brogdon opted out?
No, he didn't.
I had said that the other day.
I heard that yesterday.
Or is he still on there?
He didn't.
Yeah, bro. He's under contract.
It was about the player CBA. He's the.
Yeah, he doesn't even have any opt-outs. He has no options in his contract at all.
Okay, because I had seen a headline he had opted out.
I did see that. Hold up, let me like.
I know
it was something like the CBA.
No, it wasn't. He was speaking about the NBA CBA. He's the vice president of the Players Association.
Sir, appreciate that super chat, Elder with the super chat, $50 super chat. Keep grinding.
Shout out Elder.
Hey man, we just crossed 15K. The next goal is 20K.
Hey,
we're gonna keep grinding and just trying to build the platform up. We appreciate everybody for helping this channel, bro.
Clip said grinding.
Yes, sir.
I think Bucks gonna go all the way out, man.
So what you think they can get that's gonna put them over the hump?
Who's that?
John's got to work on his half court game.
That's what I'm saying. They can win a championship if Giannis gets better how they are constructed right now. If Giannis get better, they can win a championship with the team they got now.
Giannis. Hold on. Why does Giannis need to get better? He's the MVP. I'm MVP.
Yeah, he don't necessarily get better.
If he want to be a champion, he got to get better.
Why does Giannis got to get better, man?
Them other dudes got to get better.
Right, that's true. The only thing I'm saying is help other people.
Nah, yeah, but you
right. I feel you saying.
I agree with you on that. They all need to get better. They all need to get better as a team. But I'm saying,
you want Giannis?
But they as currently
you want Giannis to have a you want Giannis to have a shot, huh?
No, I just want him on the. I just want him with. I want him to have a post game. That's all I want.
For him as a player, if Giannis get a shot, bro, he's top 10 all time. So he should want
that's
that.
Not gonna happen. That's not
hold on. If Shaquille O'Neal had a jump shot, he'd be the greatest player of all time. I'm saying, we can't ask these guys to do everything.
He ain't working like that.
I'm just my thing is what right.
That's why I disagree because if Shaq would have worked harder, he would have been greater than he was. He was okay with just going.
No, but I'm saying it's hard to be Shaq. It's hard to be Giannis. Now we saying Giannis.
If Shaq could shoot free throws, he'd be the fucking greatest of all time.
Hold on, but look, do y'all know why he struggled?
But that's something he. But that's an indictment on his game.
That's not it's not his fault. His hands got so big the basketball looked like a tennis ball in his hand. He had to push.
Yeah, he's strong and he got muscle. All like
have you shot a nerf ball? Won't you try to
himself? He didn't work on his game like he should have.
I want you to consistently try to use the nerf ball and make
work on his game like he should have, bro.
I mean,
but here's the thing about y'all can't ask Giannis to be a perfect player though. Y'all can't ask Giannis to be a perfect player.
All you gotta do is get a service. If he gets a serviceable, decent, average jump shot, like he don't even gotta be great.
I don't want Giannis to
jump. He don't need to be a jump shooter. That's not his strength. Listen, everybody can't.
Bro,
he's a power forward. He's a power forward center.
I'm not saying he gotta be. That gotta be his game.
This fixes most of the Bucks' problems.
I'm saying
Bledsoe develops a dependable jump shot.
Right, but I'm gonna tell you. Right, but I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna be a problem though, right? If he just say he do develop a jump shot, right, and he can just do his responsibilities, he just do everything for the team. You can't win like that, man. You can't have
that's not what I'm saying. If he keeps playing the way he plays now, all he has to do, not even a jump shot, even what
if Johns have a jump, if Johns, let's say Johns can't shoot.
He's great now, but right now his greatness is really based on his ball handling ability for his size, which is great. And his athleticism. If he adds a little bit more skill, they can win a championship.
Listen, only thing I say The only thing I can say about adding skill part is put him close to the rim as possible. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. But but jump. Listen, he's already a decent enough jump shooter as for his position.
Why the Bucks are in the position that they're in now is because their front office let Malcolm Brogdon walk.
Exactly. You got Chris Middleton, not no second option. Chris Middleton ain't no second option. Man.
Yeah, I would have let Chris Middleton go before I let Malcolm.
No, I would have signed them all. I would have kept them
all, man. You got listen. They make these owners as billionaires, man. Y'all listen. I don't care if this is their hobbies or not, man. Listen, they get criticized too, man. They get credit. I don't care if it's a hobby for them or not. They get credit when they win. They get credit when they lose. You know what I mean? You still got to compete as an owner. At the end of the day, you part of a team. Like you supposed to help your job. Your job is to help build.
I see what you're saying, but them as an owner, bro, they don't care about that shit, bro. As long as they bottom line, you feel me?
Some owners do though,
bro, they don't care.
But they won't say that publicly. Right? They won't, bro. Right? They won't say that publicly though.
Number one draft pick.
Some owners
wait till they get out their rookie deal and win them.
Yeah, some owners want to win, spending as much money as possible, though.
Right.
Hey, but sometimes you gotta spend that money, man.
It's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, to them it's just another business, bro.
It go both. That go both ways. It go both ways, man. That's how. I mean, you gotta play. You gotta pay to win. You gotta pay to win.
But not every place has that mindset though. Especially when you're in a small market like Milwaukee.
That's why
you know what I mean.
That's why the same organizations in the NBA win the championship all the time.
Right,
because a lot of the owners, bro, they just care about that bottom line, bro.
Hold on. You gotta understand. Hold on, y'all gotta understand this. Golden State was never considered a big market team until they started spending money and saying we want to start spending like a big market team. So it's possible anybody can do it, but when you got a guy like Giannis, you better start. You got to.
Right. They moved. They such a big market now. They moved to San Francisco.
I agree about, but that's still California though.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, they market
like.
But they upper.
That Bay Area alone is probably the fourth biggest market in the league.
And now it
wasn't though. But here's the thing: Oakland is a decent sized market. But here's the thing: they got so good because what they did. Now they in San Francisco. Now there is one of the biggest markets.
If Oakland was such a great market, then the Raiders wouldn't have never left.
Exactly.
No, of course. I'm talking about from if you go into the great city of Oakland, because Oakland's really not that big of a city. When they say a market,
they talking about moving the baseball team.
Yeah, they talking about moving everything out of
But the Bay Area, just alone, especially now that they moved to San Francisco, that's one of the biggest markets in the league.
Raiders is a story franchise though, and they moved all the way to Vegas.
It is a story franchise, but
that's crazy.
My nigga, y'all was sharing.
They moved to Las Vegas because of bigger money grab though.
You and the Oakland A's were sharing the same stadium. Like the Raiders used to play, and the fucking baseball dirt would still be on the field while they fucking play this shit. Like, you know, like Raiders Davis was just cheap like that.
Right, but that's what cost them. But that would cost them though. Listen, and
them leaving Oakland wasn't an indictment on Oakland. They left to Vegas because that's a way bigger money grab.
Man, listen, but the Raiders. We talking about. We're not talking about just a new team. That's a story franchise.
Yeah, but that's in their history. They moved a lot.
The original owner, but bro, you gotta listen. The original owner is dead. You know what I mean? Exactly. When the Simplets took over, it's the same shit with the Yankees. I'll be saying all the time, if George Steinbrenner was still like George Steinbrenner be having to turn in his grave sometimes with some of the moves his sons used to make back in the day after he died. But you know what I mean? Like it's new ownership, and your sons might not have the same love for the team as you did, even though they grew up, even though they literally grew up in this shit, but you know what I mean?
That's like the Giants moving somewhere though. Like that's like
who brought the Utah Jazz?
Some young dude. I mean, not young, but like some billionaire dude. It was owned by a family. And, you know, hey, but you know what though? That ownership group with the Jazz, they was loyal to their players, man. That was one of the best ownership groups in the NBA. So to see them go, man, you got to get them. Like, you got to remember, this was the ownership group that traded Derek Fisher just so he could be closer to his daughter. I mean, to you know, they was loyal to their players. I give them that.
They gonna leave Utah. That ownership, they gonna go to Seattle.
No, they ain't going. Utah, nah.
I don't think Salt Lake City let that team go there.
No, they ain't going that. That's a loyal. That's what I'm saying. That's a story. That's a story franchise in the M. That's one. No, you can't. They would expand. They would do expansion. Listen, they're gonna do expansion team most like. I don't see no team really moving. I'm just really trying to think. Well, Kings. I see the Kings moving. I lied. I see the Kings. I put that in the air first. Listen, hey, Mexico City Clippers, man. Hey,
San Diego or something.
Hey, man, listen, they can put slide. They can put a team in Wilmington, man. Hey, put Clippers in Wilmington, man.
That ain't gonna work. Where they gonna put the stadium at?
They gonna practice at Laney High School and shit.
What they gonna put it next to Blue Stadium or some shit?
At work.
Hey, they've been trying to get a team back in Seattle for the longest.
I mean, they more logistics, man.
It takes a lot of work to move a team.
I mean, we do got the 87ers though, so you know, like that.
Yeah, they can put the Clippers. They can put the Clippers in Wilmington, man. In the
Wilmington, North Carolina,
Dover. I don't know. Delaware is my. Hey, I don't know, man.
We gonna have a Las Vegas basketball team.
NASCAR run Dover.
What
yeah,
they
you're right.
NBA team in
NASCAR run Dover
overseas at one point.
That's hard to do, though. You talking about like European?
They got one overseas.
They were trying to do.
Well, not overseas, but they got one in another country. If they put an NBA team overseas, that would be so dumb.
Yeah, I'll be mad.
I think Mexico will eventually get an NBA team.
I know you serious, but I'm saying I'm just thinking about the players be like they be highly upset.
It's gonna be owned by the
I gotta go to Mexico.
I don't see too many players want to play in Mexico, man. Like,
if I get traded to a team in Mexico,
it depends though. What's the best place in Mexico? Tijuana.
Man, Mexico is about to be a full-on narco state, bro. Real talk.
Man, everybody
been a narco state.
They finna go to war. El Metro them.
Man, listen, them government want no smoke. Listen, the government want no smoke with them people, man. They can do anything they want, man. The government want no smoke.
I mean, that bring a lot of money into the economy, bro. The drugs.
Right. Listen, the government would have been in war, yo. They didn't want no smoke with the cartel.
I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about the cartels, bro. It's finna.
They're not gonna be tripping. They're not gonna be tripping. They're not gonna be tripping.
I'm not saying it's not even got nothing to do with the team. It's infighting.
Lose too many games.
You gonna have players getting kidnapped?
Games they don't fix like a motherfucker.
They gonna do the money. It's a money. Listen, man. Money talks, man.
Oh, Lamont. A
Yo,
player who you can probably trade for is Kevin Love.
Who? What team?
Portland, or even I would even say the Celtics too.
I don't like that.
Hold up. I ain't trying to disrespect that man. I think he washed now, bro. I'm sorry.
You think he's already washed?
Nah. I think he washed, bro.
I don't think he's in the. He can't do that. I'm not gonna say,
bro.
I mean, you can ask him to be Timberwolves.
Kevin Love is not. Kevin Love.
No, we know it ain't that, but I'm just saying. I think he probably come in and average maybe 10 points a game.
Yo.
Last year he averaged 17 and 10.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Ty. You've been way disrespectful.
I'm just saying.
That man averaged over 20 points a game, man. That boy still.
You know what? Maybe You know what? Maybe he won't happen in Cleveland, dog. Maybe he get on the situation he happened. Maybe he
Nah, he hate Colin Sexton.
Maybe he cares, dog.
Like he's not his prime no more though, Anti. But he's still
you right.
He's still a person you got to worry about. Like he's down for it. Like Kevin Love right there.
Is that what
what was Kevin Love's prime, man?
Like Colin
Did somebody say he hated Colin Sexton?
He don't like that man. And
Colin
Sexton,
but nobody on the team likes Colin Sexton.
I like Colin Sexton though, man.
You want him on the Celtics
or just his play or both? What?
I like Colin Sexton though. That man play hard though. You can say they would. He play hard though, man.
He play hard. That's the Russell.
He baby Westbrook. Baby Westbrook.
No, it's not. I don't think it was.
That's when the bad blood comes out.
No, I don't think he's not even.
Or his play, I'm trying to figure out.
I don't think he's a Westbrook though. He's just he's not Westbrook though.
No,
he just.
I said Westbrook better than him. I'm saying like.
I know you're saying. I know you're saying. Yeah, I know you're saying, but I don't think he's that
tunnel
though.
Vision, man.
Man, Cleveland is trash.
4KW trying to start up a debate. Hold on, we got 4KW trying to spark up something.
4KW.
He said any Kobe fanboys here.
Oh shit! Shit! Yeah, he's trying to push a button.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm a Kobe fanboy.
Here we go. Who said that?
We're not doing this.
I'm not Kobe.
Oh, I'm about to say, I know 4KW would have jumped all over that. Hold on, what was you about to say?
This, man.
Top 5.
Y'all already know.
To get the vote. Kobe is top 5. You wild.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell y'all this right here. Y'all
disagree.
Hold on. Too many people been capping for Kobe.
Man,
hold on. I'm gonna be honest. Hold on.
Man,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just being honest. When I say this, I'm being honest. People didn't start putting him into the top 5 until he passed.
I have legit reasons why he's my top 5.
Hold up. When I said the nigga talking about I was 8. Nigga talking about I was 8.
It's the same shit with the hip hop question, Lamont.
That's the same shit with Tupac.
Hold up, though. That is true. Hold up. That is true. That is true though. But if you come down with a debate, if you try to come down and debate, you can get cooked like that because Kobe has a case of being that high. Regardless.
No. I'm not saying he don't have a case.
I'm just saying. I'm talking about I'm talking about people like 4KW that try to debate. Like either way, like you still got debate. You still got to debunk that. You know what I mean? I got Kobe top 5 for legit reasons.
Then why do people like to say? Because if Kobe has a strong case to be top 5, then Duncan has just as strong or even better.
He's my top 5. Well, Lamont, Duncan my top 5. Duncan my top 5 too.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, my top 5 too.
Robinson, that's not true, man. I'm just telling you the truth, man. I'm just telling you the truth. People,
I heard him outside the top 5 before he died a lot. I heard like 8.
People been capping, but also heard people have a lot of people did put Kobe in their top 5 though before he passed. But a lot of people been capping though. A lot of people been capping though.
Just gotta roll with it.
Like I'm telling you, a lot of people that had Kobe in their top 5 though, Kobe was their favorite player.
I'm not even a Kobe fan though. I didn't like Kobe. I put Kobe that high because what he did from last 2 championships.
Yeah,
like that's
I ain't gonna lie, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
He said Kobe overrated. He said Kobe overrated.
Hold on. Let me drop the link.
Hold on. I ain't gonna hold you. I may have to defend Kobe tonight, man.
Lamont, you know you ain't about to explain.
Hold on, let's go one at a time. Let's go one at a time for the check to hear because that's a tough statement right there. Kobe
overrated when he beat 4 Hall of Famers. He beat 4 Hall of Famers. Well, he only had 1 on his team. And Paul Gasol, he beat 4 Hall of Famers in the finals.
Ball Fake Podcast. Drop the link to your channel in the chat.
Anyone against good competition.
How Kobe overrated when he proved that Dallas wrong, saying that he couldn't win the championship without Shaq. That was the narrative for years, and he won without Shaq.
against good competition.
And then he beat a supposed, like I said, Celtics. That was supposed to be a dynasty with KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. That was supposed to be a dynasty.
I thought a lot of people don't understand
Kobe beat that team. Kobe beat that team.
But if they was in their prime, they would have whacked
He beat it when they was hurt, but
man, they would.
Yeah.
Oh, not when Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins
beat him while they was injured, but he beat him.
Kendrick Perkins line. Come on, man. Listen, I'm a Celtics fan. I can't take that away. Because to be fair though, Sly, they lost Andrew Bynum.
When it happened,
they lost. Right.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that year when y'all lost, I'm just playing them there. That year when y'all lost to them, y'all kept bringing up Kendrick Perkins.
No, that's some other. I'm a real listen, man. Some people was doing that, but to be fair though, Bynum was hurt. Bynum was hurt.
Back spasm, and KG had back spasms or some shit.
Man, people reach on that one though. We still could have won that game. We was up in the fourth quarter. We still could have won that game.
Won that series.
Phil Jackson, which is ironic, it's 2020 now. Phil Jackson in 2010.
Oh, hold on, we got Kenneth in here. Hold on, he got it. Hey, we gonna give him the floor. We're gonna give him the floor. He got to explain why Kobe is overrated. You got to answer for that one, man. There he is, right here. What's up, Kenneth?
Hey, what's up, y'all? How you guys doing tonight?
We're good.
We're good.
All right.
Here we go.
What happened?
He got kicked out. The basketball guys just kicked that man out. Golly.
Yeah.
Right.
You about to get smoked. He was like, that Andrew was on. He was like, hey, what's up? He can't, you gotta come back. You can't go on like that. That looked kind of crazy.
Hold on. We got somebody new to the chat. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, something. We got somebody new to the chat, Antonio Emerson. At least I haven't seen that name before, man. What you got on some of this?
What's going on, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Looks like a troll.
What's going on? Where you at?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear
you. What's good?
True.
Yo.
What's up with this Kobe stuff, man?
Nah, that wasn't us, dog. That's somebody else.
That's somebody else.
That was Ken Robinson.
I said true.
What about Kobe? What about Kobe?
True the king.
Yo.
Man. So let me ask you this about this Kobe. You say he did a lot for the last two championships, right?
Right.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So did he have enough help or he didn't have no help?
He had enough help. You need help to win. What are you saying? I ain't saying he didn't have no help.
What I'm getting at is this. When people was put on for the Kobe last two championships, he had arguably the top center in the NBA because at that time, the argument was between Dwight Howard and Andrew Bynum.
That is a fact.
That's a lie. Now, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. Let him finish. I got him. Let him finish.
Let him finish. Go ahead, Antonio.
And then he had Paul Gasol, which was what, top 5 at his position at that time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And then he had LeBron. So like, you saying that he beat 4 Hall of Famers? Kobe didn't go to war with no bombs.
I didn't say that, but he still went up against 4 of the Hall of Famers and Rasheed Wallace, and Tony Allen, a great perimeter defender off the bench. I mean, that Celtics team was pretty good, pretty great, underachieved.
I mean, all I say is that the Lakers team that won those last 2 championships, that team was not sorry and trash at all.
I didn't say that. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. They clearly was a great team.
I'm gonna say something for Antonio. What he's trying to say is this. Again, when he said that about Andrew Bynum, that is true. At that time, people were looking at Andrew Bynum as one of the best centers in the league.
That was the next year, though.
That was on his way.
That was next year, Lamont. That was the next year, Lamont.
But people looked at him as like he was on his way. Like he's gonna be that dude. He just didn't pan out because maybe the mental stuff.
Right, he was good. Listen, he was a good player. But we're not gonna say like he wasn't. But he wasn't an all-star player when they won their two championships. He wasn't that guy.
The second
one he was.
He wasn't. He wasn't. Hold on. Andrew Bynum was not a top 5 center in the league.
Yeah, he was.
When they won them 2 championships.
Yeah, he was.
No, on the second ring, he was that caliber.
It was compared where the white.
There wasn't a lot of good centers, but
now I'm about to look up his number. Now we got to look at Andrew Bynum.
Hold on, but his second year numbers were skewed because I think he was hurt most of that year.
I mean, we're gonna look at his championship. We're gonna look at the numbers they won the championship. Hold
that's
on.
What I'm saying. The second, that's
7 points that year. The first ring,
you can't use that. You can't go off numbers with Andrew Bynum due to the fact Phil always set him in the fourth quarter.
No, but here's the thing though. You talking about the next year in 2011-2012 season, that's when he became an all-star. That's when he became the second best, arguably best center in the game. He was a good. Bynum was still a good player. Okay, but we talking about Kobe. I'm not saying he played with bums. Nobody say you need help to win championships. You can't just do it all by yourself. No, I'm not saying that. But let's keep it real. He went through a super team in the Boston Celtics. He beat 4 Hall of Famers. He beat 4 Hall of Famers. Let's be real. And then the second and when they lost him the first time, the Celtics the first time, whatever, in 2008, Bynum got hurt. So I'm not taking away from nobody.
I know what I know. I never heard Andrew Bynum being mentioned with the White Owl, bro.
Yeah,
no 2012. No, anti. That's 2012.
People talking at once.
Anti. It's that
White was a monster, bro. The first years
at that time, it was them two for the best centers in the league. I'm telling you.
And then after Bynum fell off, that was him and
run, but later on. That's why he got that big contract.
Let me ask you this, Drew.
And that was with him being lazy.
You don't consider Ron Artest like a Hall of Famer?
No.
He was a very good player. He was a very good player.
The reason I asked that question is because you ain't got a defensive player of the year. You ain't got defensive player of the year. You ain't got a ring. But Ron Artest led a Sacramento Kings team to the playoffs in the West. Led that team. We've never seen Rondo lead a team. We've never seen Rondo lead a team. We've never did that. But Rondo's a Hall of Fame.
But he wasn't that same caliber player
I'm gonna say this.
in Indiana.
I say this.
And Sacramento. He wasn't that same player.
But I say this about Ron Artest. Well, I'll be mad if I say Ron Artest getting the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't be mad at all. I wouldn't be mad. But me personally, I don't think he's a Hall of Fame. Like, he is close. He's a very good player.
I agree.
He's a very good player.
Nah, man.
A role player that led a team to playoffs in the West. A role player that led a team to
Ron was nice.
But here's the thing, though. But when you mention Rondo, Sly,
you've never ever seen Rondo do that. You've never.
Here's the thing, though. But here's the thing. Hold up. Here's the thing, though, Sly. Here's the thing, though. Rondo did lead a team before. The last years when he was on that Celtics run, he was the best pro on them teams. The last year they made it when all of was in the playoffs against Miami. Rondo was the best pro on that team.
I can't.
Rondo was the best pro on them teams.
Yeah, more than one good year.
I can't put Rondo over Paul Pierce.
They wasn't in their prime. They wasn't. Hold on. You can just go look at the. You can just go look at the numbers. Rondo was a top 3 point guard in the league at the time.
Okay, so
I'm not going to say arguably.
Okay, so you compare that Celtics. You compare that 2010, 2011 Celtics team to the 2008 Sacramento Kings. Is
I'm not
Rondo
talking about
leading
you.
that Sacramento Kings team to the playoffs?
I don't know, man.
Hey, fellas,
I
should
don't
the
know.
put this
When
out
Ron
here?
Artest did
That's
it.
impressive. That was impressive. I'm not listen. If you think he a Hall of Famer, I'm not mad at that. But I don't. He was a very good player. He's still. But like I say, That's why you got that Laker team was very good. That's why I'm not taking away from that Laker team. But at the end of the day,
That's what
that
I'm saying.
Celtics,
you never
that Celtics
three
team.
Hall of Famers on your squad, I might consider you a super team.
But Ron Artest. But let's be real.
Nah, they
But Ron
wasn't a
Artest
super
not.
team. The Lakers
But
wasn't a
let's
super
be real.
team.
But Ron Artest is
They
not a
was
Hall of
great
Famer
though.
though.
They was definitely a great team. No, he's not.
Right. They were a great team. They were a great team, but Ron Artest is not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Nah, Ron Artest ain't no Hall of Famer,
not
bro.
based on what
Especially the.
I mean, I'll put him in the Hall of Fame, but if we put
Ron ain't going to no goddamn Hall of Fame.
He had the potential to be a Hall of Famer though. He definitely
had the
should have.
potential.
He definitely should have been. Oh wait,
he had the potential to be a Hall of Famer.
Career. Yeah, off the course, he derailed him. He'd be in Chicago on the West Side. You feel me? All club.
A one-time All-Star, a one-time, four-time All-Defensive, one-time All-Star. I mean,
I mean, his accolades don't really tell the whole story.
One-time defensive player of the year.
He was very good, man. But if he had a longer, if that's like, okay, is Bruce Bowen a Hall of Famer?
Hell no, nah, Bruce Bowen's not the caliber.
I'm just saying, like,
Bruce Bowen doesn't.
No, I'm not saying.
Accolades, though.
I mean, but still, all defensive.
Bruce Bowen was never the caliber player.
Right, but I'm just telling you.
You never seen Bruce Bowen lead a team, especially to no playoffs.
Nah, but Bruce Bowen was a real role player though. Ron Artest
like Bird on the real. I can't on the real off the top of my head. I can't even remember the niggas Ron Artest put on his back to the playoffs.
I don't remember
on that Kings team.
I say Ron Artest was
that time, if I'm not mistaken.
He put that team on his back, and they rode him to the playoffs.
But I listen. Ron Artest was a very good player, but I don't know he's a Hall of Famer. I don't.
Based on his accomplishments, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Like I don't think
if he'd done more in college, he would have got in, but he didn't really do anything.
He's not he's a very good player. That Laker team, Kobe did not have a super team, man.
Like if he takes St. John's to the championship, maybe they get in, but maybe he gets in with that. But that man won a championship with Shannon Brown on the squad, man. Like that's like come on,
Arguably, Shannon Brown who played his role.
Can't do that.
Shannon Brown was a bum. Shannon Brown was playing summer league. Shannon Brown was a bum. Shannon Brown was a bum.
During the repeat years?
That's my cousin, bro. Don't do him like that.
Listen, man.
Years he was a bum?
No, that man played. That man was in the summer league like 3 years after he won a championship.
No. I'm talking about during the championship runs. Was he?
He wasn't that good. He was just athletic.
Bro, they arguably had the best.
He played his role, man.
He played his role, man. That man could jump out the man. He jumped out the man. Listen, the best play he ever did on that Lakers jersey, boy, with his whole NBA career. When that's up there. No, I'm talking about the dunk that Steve Blake threw him. Steve Blake threw him, and he had to reach back. Like, I mean, Shannon Brown, man. But like I said, that team wasn't as
role.
He was okay, but that wasn't a super team. Like he had one Hall of Famer on his team.
That was a great team. They fit.
It was a great team. Listen, it was a great team. It definitely was a great team. It was definitely a great team. But I'm not gonna consider it a super team.
Look, I'm putting Rod in the Hall of Fame, so you know what I mean. Like
you can do that. You can do that.
Ron in the Hall of Fame, boy. Fuck out of here.
That's tough, bro.
You can do that. I'm not mad.
You putting Rondo in there, who's always.
We know Rondo, but we know Rondo going to Hall of Fame. We know Rondo going to Hall of Fame.
Always been as a role. As a
Rondo was not. Rondo was. Hold on. Rondo was not. Hold on.
He was a triple double before Westbrook. To be honest.
Hold on. Rondo in 2012. Hold on. Rondo in 2012. Hold up, Slide. Rondo in 2012 was the best player on that team. Don't do that. Don't do that. In 2012, he was the best player on that team. That was
He
not no
dropped
role
40
player.
in the playoffs.
Oh God.
He led that team, and then before that,
Rondo was
slide.
the best player on that team.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like you put Rondo on the team with no Hall of Famers on there, and tell Rondo to lead us to the playoffs, and you know what I mean. Then I'll put, because this is what I'm saying. Like Ron Artest did that, and I don't understand why he's not getting respect. I don't understand why
he is getting respect. Like, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't
sustained it, bro. He never sustained
right,
it.
but I'm gonna tell you why, because he didn't play at that level
consistently.
He
did.
Consistently. That's the only thing. He is a short sample size of him.
Nobody expected him to do that shit, man.
No, I'm understand, but understand that if he was a great, listen.
All right, we got Kenneth back. Hey, we got Kenneth back.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
we got Kenneth back. He can explain why Kobe's overrated. We still got to hear that.
That man was doing. That man did his Googles.
Ain't true.
Hey, Kenneth, can you hear us?
He doing his Google. He got his books out.
Hey, true.
Yo, what up, Lou?
Check that private chat.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely going to tune in.
Yeah. When I say that Kobe is overrated, when y'all start talking about Kobe Bryant being top 5, Kobe Bryant shouldn't even be considered in the top 10. Okay.
Let him finish.
Yeah, I gotta jump off the bus with that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. Let's understand something here. When you're talking about Kobe Bryant, right? 5 championships. He played an integral role in all them championships, which all the top 5 did. But if we're going to start applying context, then let's talk about his one MVP that he won. Kobe Bryant won that MVP. You could make the argument Chris Paul should have won that MVP. He won that MVP because one night, him and Chris Paul went against each other, and everybody kind of understood whoever won that game was going to get the MVP. One game could have been a difference between Kobe winning the MVP and not winning the MVP. One game, right? Didn't mean he didn't have a great season or whatever, but again, we're talking about the top 5 here. All right? Kobe Bryant has it cost the Lakers at least 2 championships. At least 2. Okay, he shot the Lakers out of the championship in 2004. He's the reason why the Lakers lost in 2004. When you start talking about the Celtics was a super team, that team was the Celtics. What was it? Was that 2010 when the Lakers played the Celtics, or 2009?
10.
That team, the Celtics, was old. I think they had lost their zeal to want to win. You know, I mean, they weren't the same team as they were in 2008. And I think you guys. It's funny when I hear this stuff, because when people start talking about super team this, super team that, and you guys can choose what you want to define as what a super team is. Because if I was to tell you that the 1997 Rockets was a, quote, super team, and they had 3 Hall of Famers and all that stuff like that, and then you could look at their stats and show that they were still playing at a Hall of Fame level, at a high level, you guys would say, oh, they were old. You know? I wanted to ask, I put in the chat, well, Kobe Bryant is top 5. Who are you taking out? Who are you taking? There's no way you put Kobe Bryant over Hakeem, over Shaq, over Jordan, James, Jabbar, Magic, Bird. I'm trying to think, who am I missing? I'm just rolling off, thinking of people off the top of my head that there's no way
Hakeem
Bryant over. Huh?
You say Hakeem? Like
Hakeem?
Yeah,
I couldn't put Kobe Bryant over Hakeem Olajuwon. I couldn't. Okay. So I mean, I'm not Kobe Bryant great. Don't get me wrong. Because I can't. Like I said, I penalize when I feel you cost your team championships. I got. Hey man, I mean,
hold on.
I see what you're saying, but he got to be top 10, bro.
Huh?
Got his ass at 11.
I agree with some of the stuff you saying.
Can I respond? Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
Hold up. When you say you can name, listen. First of all, when you say cost your team championship, you got to put. You said the key word you say was context, right?
Right.
And you said about the MVP. He only had one MVP, and Chris Paul should have got that. We know damn well that Kobe should have got multiple MVPs. And you know why he didn't get them MVPs, man. Are you serious?
Agree with that. I don't.
So that Denver situation wasn't the reason why he stopped getting pushed, and they were cheating him off MVPs.
Well, he won an MVP. He won an MVP after that Denver situation.
If you go year by year,
he won an MVP after that Denver
they
situation.
had no choice. They had no choice because he was that dude.
They didn't have a choice.
That good. Listen.
By year, bro, he shouldn't have been getting MVPs, bro.
What you mean?
Hold on. Let's go one at a time so we can
listen. And then you want to sit there and say, now, first of all, I'm a Celtics fan, and what you said was was lies. That team was still in their primes. That was their last prime years in 2010. That was a lie. All of them. Rondo was a top 5 point guard. Rihanna was a top 5 shooting guard. Paul Pierce was a top 5, top 3 small forward. KG was a top 5 power forward. Don't do that. So don't sit there and say, they was old. And you said it was old. Kobe older than Paul Pierce and Ray Allen.
Yeah, but
how you gonna say for Rondo?
But his team wasn't. And see, that's another thing. Kobe didn't beat the Lakers, beat the Celtics. Like what the brother said.
I understand that he led that team. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, bro.
My thing is only with the MVPs. Kobe shouldn't have more MVPs than he had, bro. If you go year by year, bro, nah. I don't agree with that.
Man, listen. Kobe got robbed.
I agree he's top 10, though.
Kobe. Like you said, then you mentioned Shaq. First of all, Shaq cost his teams a lot of championships. You want to put that in context? He got swept more than any other superstar in NBA history. Anybody? So what are we talking about?
But let's be real. He's a center though.
It don't matter if center or not. Ain't no Shaq's friend. That's a fact. It's a fact though. He got listen, Shaq was a great player, but when you say, he caused the team to wins, you can say that for anybody. I've seen Jordan turn the ball over against Orlando. I've seen Jordan turn the ball over Orlando.
Not turning the ball over kind of stuff. I'm talking about shooting your team out of games, like what Kobe did against Detroit. What he did against Detroit was a travesty.
Man, Jordan, listen, Jordan had to learn how to be a team player, right? So he wasn't always perfect too. So he called his team to win that time because he was selfish. He didn't trust his teammates. That's facts.
I wouldn't trust him crackheads. I wouldn't trust him crackheads either. Go ahead.
What do you mean? We talking about when he didn't trust his teammates when he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals with Doug Collins.
All right.
He didn't trust his teammate. He didn't trust his teammates when he went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Kobe has
and Shaq was the best player during the three-peat, bro.
Right, okay, and you go in the finals against Rick Smith, dog. Let's keep it real. Let's be real. Shaq,
yeah, but that's even a more indictment on Kobe if you out shooting Shaq and he going against Rick Smith.
Right.
Shaq, that was Shaq matchup. Kobe had a tougher matchups.
He talking about against Detroit. He talking about.
No. We not doing. No.
First of all, hold on.
I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that. Yo,
but
Shaq was dropping 30 on triple teams, man.
Yeah,
forget the one center. Like you never seen a center stick Shaq by himself.
Right, here's the thing, though. Right,
so like, please, can we stop saying that? Can we stop?
But here's the thing about Shaq. But Shaq not perfect though. And Shaq was lazy. All that being said, Shaq was lazy.
You're right,
man. I'm not. Listen, Shaq was a great player. We got to play right. Like
yeah,
I'm
I
just
hate when people say that he played. He like who's the centers he played up against? Who's the center he played? I'm like, nigga, the nigga had 3 niggas on him at all times,
Yeah,
or at
right.
least
I'm just putting, but I'm just putting in context. Slide.
I feel
right, but slide. I'm just putting anything in context because the Kobe slander, the Kobe. Of course, they both need each other. I'm not downplaying nobody's situation. But I'm just telling you, if you want to put it in context, we got to put it in context. Everybody's not perfect.
How do you put Kobe over Shaq?
My argument with Kobe is if you would have put any other comparable guard in the league at that time in his position, they would have did the same shit. It was
You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that because that Laker team, Kobe was a motor on that team. Kobe was a motor on that team. You can't say that.
Yeah, but I think if you put any comparable of those guys, bro,
he was.
Yeah, Kobe was. You can't say that. You can't say that because Kobe was a motor on them Lakers.
Hey, this is what I give you about that team. This is what I'll give you. There at the time in the league, there were other players who could do what Kobe was doing.
Right,
there was nobody in the league. Hold on. There's nobody in the league who could do what Shaq was doing. Nobody could do what Shaq was doing. He was irreplaceable. So it's easy to say. It will be easier to say Kobe was more replaceable than Shaq because even when you could say Shaq was out of shape and everything, you could only say he cost that team 1 championship. That was in the last championship, 03. Was that 03, 04?
Which he averaged 20. Which he averaged 26 and 12 in.
Right.
But
other than that, can I rebuttal that though?
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, right? It was a lot of players that you can say, could do the same thing Kobe did. But guess what? When you had Ray Allen on super teams, what happened? How many championships he won when he was on a great team?
Later on in his career though, bro.
That 08. Ray Allen was still a top 5 shooting guard majority of the time when he was on the Celtics. That's a fact. You can't listen. He was a top 5 shooting guard. He still was top 5 shooting guard.
Same player he was.
I don't think he was top 5.
He was just coming off screens, bro.
Okay, for 08, 09, 2010, he was a top 5 shooting guard. And he underachieved. That's he underachieved,
bro. His role wasn't the same role he had.
But you can't say per se. But okay, when Kobe, but here's the thing.
I think if you put Ray Allen at that time on in Kobe shoes or not just Ray Allen, T-Mac, any comparable guards like that.
This man said T-Mac.
Yeah, if you put T-Mac with
Shaq, bro, are you crazy?
You name a dude that never made it out of the first round of playoffs, man. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that.
True. That's the same. That's the same dude. That's the same dude that won a score. That's the same dude that won a scoring title.
Man, but he's not a winner. But he don't have the. Right, but he's not a winner. Like
what y'all mean? What makes you think he's gonna win with Shaq?
My thing is, in 03 when he won the scoring title, his team had the worst record in the league, and that's why I'm saying he had no help, man. He never had help.
You can't put that on T-Mac, bro. That's what I'm saying. A lot of this is situational, bro. A lot of these players' careers, bro, is situational, bro.
He had no hold.
If Kobe Bryant don't let us and get drafted to the Lakers, bro.
Hold on, y'all. Hey, Elder. I don't see this ain't really disrespectful. It's just, again, I think it's debatable putting Kobe in the top 5. That's really debatable because that could be disrespectful to a guy like Tim Duncan who put in just as much work in the same era.
I don't think it is.
And if you look at it like this, if you use Elder's criteria, if you go off positions in your top 5, Kobe's definitely not in your top 5 if you rank them, if you go by position. Because Kobe's the number 2 shooting guard all the time.
Yao Ming ain't nothing like Shaq, bro. Stop.
Hold up, but T-Mac, hey, did Kobe do a 3-1 lead?
Yep.
He did. Matter of fact, I was right. I don't know why I said that, but guess what? T-Mac, but hold up. We know T-Mac. Hold up, we know when y'all say hold up. I messed up. Hold up. Slide. Y'all said T-Mac didn't have no help. But how you won 3 games against Detroit?
Small forward, Jordan.
I mean, T-Mac was just not a good leader.
He was playing out of his mind. You can't ask a nigga to drop 40 every night, man. You can't ask a nigga to drop 40 every night. He gonna run out of gas.
A lot of this, bro. We don't realize as people that observe, watch the game, bro. A lot of these players' careers, bro, is situational. You can't tell.
I understand that, right? But Kobe,
drafted to the Lakers,
right?
Bro,
We know,
rings,
right? But here's the thing about situations, right? When you gave Kobe enough talent, he won. Majority of the time, that's a fact, right? When he contended,
he got one of the top 5 players ever on the team. Bro.
Yeah, okay, I understand that.
One of the most dominant players of all time.
No, we seen who that? That's KJ.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! Why you shaking? You come on, man.
Hell no.
Everybody wants smoke with you, True. God damn.
But here's the thing. I don't know. Listen, my whole thing is I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem if you don't have Kobe in your top 5. That's cool. But you're not having him in your top 10. That's kind of ridiculous.
I got him.
Now that guy,
based on the comps, he got to be in the top 10. Though.
That's ridiculous.
And Kobe had 11.
But Kobe did a lot. Kobe did a lot in the league. But
let's be real.
Like, come on.
But let's be real. He was efficient as a shooting guard compared to the other elite.
Hey, Lamar, I see you later, man. I gotta go do the interview.
All right, Lou.
All
right, bro. And then on top of that, just the impact he had on the league. Because look, that's a big reason why we put Iverson as a first ballot Hall of Famer with no rings. Like, that nigga had a massive impact on the league. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so did Kobe. And so did Kobe. So you know what I'll be just on impact alone. But what I would say about the top 5 conversation is, like, I always ask Laker fans this question: is Kobe the greatest Laker of all time?
You're going to get a lot of different answers on that, depending on what Laker fan you ask, depending on what era. Depending what era you talk, depending what era Laker fans you talking about.
Because
I mean, like, even old Laker fans will still have Magic up there. Like, niggas that was watching Elgin Baylor and shit, will probably still put Magic up there. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I never got to watch those.
And all you can do, depending on their age is how they're going to answer. You ask a Lakers fan that's 30 and under, it's going to be Kobe.
Hold on. Elder says Kobe is the top Laker all time.
I agree with that.
Ask him how it is.
Magic Johnson.
I guarantee you.
I'm going to give it to Kobe because he put in more time than a lot of those guys, and he did. I think he just had a bigger impact on a lot of those things.
Magic had Magic was the whole 80s. I feel you on the long time, the more time shit, but like that's in a way, when you say that though, Lamont, I feel like we punishing Magic for catching AIDS.
No, it's not.
I feel like we punishing Magic. To me, what Magic did, bro, he did more in less time, bro. He did more in less. He just as much in less time, bro.
Can I address the impact thing on the league with Kobe Bryant and actually a lot of players? I know you guys are not gonna like me saying this, but
hold on, go ahead. Go ahead, Kenneth. Go ahead.
I genuinely feel after Michael Jordan, the league has spent years trying to manufacture another Michael Jordan. Right? And it was I would say Kobe is the closest we've seen, to it. LeBron probably went a little bit farther, but a lot of this is just during Michael Jordan's time, they were competing with the NFL. For ratings and everything like that. And I we want to say, what he did, but a lot of it is based off of like all the All-Star games. A lot of them, I guess you can make an argument. All the defensive teams he was on, he had no business being on. It's all manufactured. I know everybody's chasing Michael Jordan. That's what they're doing, and they're going to make try to change these rules, try to make. You got guys 7 feet out there, dribbling the ball, shooting threes. You would never have that stuff because everybody's trying to be Michael Jordan.
That's good for the game, though. If you 7 foot, being able to handle, that's good for the game. You should want the game to everybody be skilled. That's good for the game.
Kobe, man, Kobe, the greatest Laker of all time, man.
Hold on, but what did we consider great before?
What you say, KJ?
What did we consider
great before Jordan? Kobe. What do you mean? You seen
before Jordan though? What did we consider great before Jordan? Because we look at Jordan and say he's the greatest of all time, but the NBA was before that. So before Jordan even got to the league, what did we consider great?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't think they knew. I honestly don't think they knew because
that's the best point I ever heard you say, KJ.
They crowned Jordan the GOAT after his 3rd championship, so I guess that was great because I don't think they really had a clear definition of what greatness was.
The league never pushed Kobe like that. The league never pushed Kobe like that. That's all I'm saying.
This GOAT stuff the last past 20 years, bro.
See, I guess the reason they put Jordan up there is because like Jordan ain't had no rival. Like at least Magic had Bird and like you know what I'm saying, LeBron.
Yeah, Jordan might dominate.
LeBron was just underachieved, and Kobe and LeBron happened. Like Jordan didn't have no.
It was Jordan versus everybody.
It was Jordan versus the world. It was always
nobody dominated the. I mean, you got to be honest though.
That's funny.
Nobody dominated the league ever how Jordan has, bro.
It's not true.
Hey, I don't know about that, bro.
Who? Name me somebody.
You talking about Bill Russell, man? We forget about Bill Russell. Did I just say his name? Did I just say his name though? But did I lie though? Did I lie?
Yeah, you lied, bro.
How I lied?
We debunked it because
it don't matter.
I got Bill
It
Russell.
don't matter. He still dominated. He still dominated.
Nah, bro,
that's not you got. Listen,
you can't count them. You can't count them post. I mean, pre.
Hey, and Jordan played. Listen, Jordan played against.
Use them. You can count them. You can count them because this is what I'm about to say. This is what I'm about to say about Bill Russell on the team. So you can bring those on in here. I'll welcome them. But I'm just saying, Bill Russell, when you was dominating for them 11 rings, right? Like, what single individual accolades did you do to make us believe that other than you being the captain and your defense, that you was like the clear cut?
Five-time MVP. Five-time MVP.
Right. When I saw that the man averaged 25 rebounds a game, I said that's enough right there. That's remarkable. I don't care what area you play in. I don't care what area you play in. 25 rebounds a game is remarkable.
And go look up.
Will Chamberlain's averaging 30.
And losing. You know you did all that and lose. How you put up 2K numbers and lose?
Let's do this. Put Bill Russell on that Philadelphia Warriors team, and is Bill Russell a Hall of Famer?
Yes, they still winning. No, you understand this too, though. Hold on. We gotta put this in context. Hold on. So whoa. So I got a list of Hall of Famers Will Chamberlain play with. I got a list of the 3 Hall of Famers Will play with.
Right.
Please list those Hall of Famers.
Jerry West.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I didn't say Los Angeles. I said Philly. Name me the Philadelphia Hall of Famers he played with.
You pointed to a specific
Billy Cunningham. Billy Cunningham. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Billy Cunningham. Okay.
Billy Cunningham, Hall of Famer. Legs. Billy. He's Hall of Famers.
Okay.
Hall of Famers.
Billy Cunningham. Who else?
Hey, you gotta put in context. Hal Greer. Hal Greer. I'm just
like, when they talk about Wilt, they don't talk about when they talk about Wilt in Philly, they don't talk about nobody else Wilt played for him. Man, and it's got to be a reason for that. It's got to be.
Listen, hey, they listen, man. Hey, man, they play against all. You had 18. Listen, you had 18s back in the day, right? You had talent on your team.
Yeah,
like it's 8 teams. It's 8 teams. You had players on your team.
Bro. Them niggas was sorry, bro.
Listen, Bill Russell. Listen, you gotta realize this though too, though.
Was sorry, bro. Just being honest, bro. Them niggas was trash, bro.
They all play transition ball, though. They all play transition ball.
Every one of them old ass niggas.
That's a lie.
Yeah,
that's a lie. That's a lie. You just lied.
Them old ass niggas was sorry, bro. Them niggas was dribbling the ball, looking down with one hand.
It's easy to say that with Bill Russell, the NBA Finals NBA Finals MVP, named after Bill Russell. That's all I'm gonna say. I saw the clear.
If they had been a time, look, I swear to God, if they had been a time machine in our lifetime. Yo, I want some of you niggas to just go back to those days and play one of them niggas in them high ass shorts and see if they don't move y'all.
Hey, Elder made a good point. Elder made a good point. He said the '60s most watered down era ever. They only had 3 blacks in the entire league.
Here's the thing though. What that's supposed to mean? You could play like what that's supposed to be. What is this called color? So what that's supposed to mean necessarily?
True to comparing
errors.
You're not getting players, bro.
Hold on. Be honest. We know.
So Jordan played against more white players than LeBron. So what we saying? Like, my thing is, if you want to go there, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's why you can't do that. You can't do that. Magic, you can't do that. You can't do that.
They put the quota. They put in the 60s. They put a quota how many black people was in the league.
You can't do that, Elder.
True with the counterpunch.
I believe.
Hold on. Do we need an Elder True to King debate?
Elder, you can't do that. Elder. I don't listen. Elder, you don't do it. Listen, like we can say that Babe Ruth, right? Okay, we can say Babe Ruth, right? Okay, Babe Ruth didn't play against black people, right? But Babe Ruth still one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Yeah,
you can't do that because then the day
because Josh Gibson though.
Right, but that's not the point though. He still could play. He still was better than some black. You know what I mean?
And I'm saying, I believe if Pete Maravich was alive. You know what I mean? And the young
Pete Maravich could play 20s, today.
I believe he could cross up any nigga on this panel. So you know what I mean? Like, I can't really
but you got first.
Jordan played. Yeah, you're right.
You always
Jordan played against more. Jordan played against more white players than LeBron. There's more black people in the league now more than ever. You see more white people back in the 90s now. You can't use that argument. You can't do that.
I see what you're saying, but it's not comparable to the 60s, bro. They had a quote on.
Nah, man. Listen, when you say, listen, that's true, but you can't sit there and use that white and black. It's just tricky. You can't use it. It gets tricky.
You can because back then in the 60s, bro, they was putting so like it was so much of a cap on how many players could be there.
I understand.
Getting the best players possible.
On the flip side,
so Jackie Robinson.
Oh, go ahead.
Facts is fact. Listen, I didn't say you was lying. I didn't say you was lying. You didn't lie what you said about. But here's the thing, though. Jordan played against.
Hold on. Hey, to the King.
I can debate. Listen, we can listen, Elder. Listen.
Hold on. We might have a debate here. We might have this is a heavyweight fight right here.
Man, I cook Elder, man. I cook Elder, man.
Let's get it.
Oh man!
Hey, runs to the ring with the
hold on. What is the debate? What is the actual debate so we can get a grounds on what we talking about here?
He's saying that the 60s wasn't watered down.
I guess the 90s was watered down.
Elder said the 60s was the most watered down.
Exactly
what the King saying.
I be hearing this era is the most watered down and the weakest. So which one is it?
Nope.
Hold on. Let's let.
Oh, go ahead.
No. We're gonna let Elder cook for 2 minutes. Then we're gonna let True the King cook.
I don't even need 2 minutes.
I mean, factually, you can't debate that it was the most watered down, bro. It was less teams, and they was putting a quote on the players. Like factually, you can't.
All these were trash though, bro. All 17.
Hold on.
There were less teams.
Let Elder in. Let Elder cook first because he obviously brought it up. So let's hear him out first. Go ahead, Elder.
If you're speaking about the word watered down, that means that the competition was less. And in the 60s, first off, you only had 8 teams. 8 total. So you do the math on 15 guys on 18. All right. Then there were owners that would not even accept black players. To get the quota part, having one no more than two, you had owners that didn't believe in blacks at all. You remember the 60s were going through the civil rights, y'all. So you couldn't, I mean, you had the best athletes in the world at that time didn't get an opportunity to play in the NBA. And you telling me guys like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, who else you know from the 60s? Name me another black player from the 60s. Just name one other one besides those two. Nobody in this room can do it but me. It was so few and far between. Tell me we didn't have black athletes back then. We did. Go look at football. Go look at basketball. We had black athletes. But them NBA owners was not accepting black athletes. Go look at the city that the NBA teams were in. That will explain everything. So I don't give top credence to guys like Wilt Chamberlain and guys like Bill Russell. Why? They did not even get to play against the best athletes in the world. This era may be considered watered down, but they're still playing against the best athletes in the world. Regardless if you like the style or not, they're still playing against the best athletes in the world. 60s, it wasn't even an option. So these guys are great, but great again too. Then all these guys weren't making no money. These guys had jobs, y'all. Did you know that? They were plumbers, electricians, school teachers, insurance salesmen, stay-at-home dads. These guys had jobs and still played in the NBA. Not playing against the best talent in the world. Watered down, inflated, stat pad number. I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, True the King.
Set your bars, True.
That's good,
man. So when you said that, right? Okay, the 60s, a different time. Okay, limited black players, wherever the case may be. But do the players have any control of that? Last time I checked, you gotta go play what you play with in the day. You can't. It's pros and cons of every era. So when you say, okay, they play against majority of white players. Okay, they're the best of best. Well, why did when they say this era is the weakest era right now? So which one is it? It's okay. They say, oh, back in the day it was a weak era, or no, now it's a weaker era now, even though it's more black athletes. So you can't have it both ways. And then you say, oh, they play against all white players, the case may be. Jordan played. So if you're going to use the black and white card, then Jordan played against more white players than LeBron. But people say Jordan better than LeBron. So you can't necessarily use that argument to big. And then it's like, okay, the best of the best. Okay, so if he was that good, so who was the athletes then that was the 60s black that couldn't get in the NBA then? Because
my bad.
They got a lot of them, bro. You got to do the research.
Hold on. Let True King finish.
Who exactly was it? Because in the day we know that the best of the best played. And all that being said, you know how good you have to be as a black athlete even to make the league. Then,
facts.
So so it's also you can it's unfortunate, but you have to be that good. Bill Russell had to work that hard. Wilt Chamberlain, they had to work that hard to even be in the league. They had to be better than everybody. So it's pros and cons to everything. But it's that debate about it's watered down. You can say it's watered. You can nitpick every era, say it's watered down, and every era there's pros and cons to it.
You done?
I'm done.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Elder.
All right, first off, you didn't even address the debate because I broke down and defined to you what watered down means, and you didn't address that. You went to saying that people say that this era is the most watered down. I had already addressed that for you. First off, I'd never say that because you're still playing against the best athletes in the world. There was no division in there. There was no exclusion in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, and 2020. Nobody's being excluded. You see what I'm saying? And even in Jordan's year that you brought up, there were still more predominantly black athletes in that league than white athletes. And that trend is moving towards black every single year. But the key is it doesn't matter black or white. What matters is are people being excluded? Are people being told they can't play? You said naming guys. How we gonna name them when they didn't get a chance to play? Now I could name them. You ain't never heard of them because they did have black leagues where guys played, and those leagues and games were more exciting. But again, you had to understand the civil rights to understand what was going on in that era, and you have to understand why Wilt Chamberlain and why Bill Russell got an opportunity. It wasn't just because they were the cream of the crop, because they were. Don't get me wrong, they were the best athletes in their era, but they were also the money, were also the show for the people. So that's why they were able to get in. You telling me we didn't have no black smaller guys like guards that could have made that league? No, these giants were the show for these people. But the owners still took black for bringing in black people back in. Again, you got 8 teams. Even if it don't even bring them in, how are you going to have the best competition against 8 teams? At the end of the day, the 60s is the easiest to water down. And this is why you never hear Wilt Chamberlain's name and you never hear Bill Russell's name mentioned when it comes to the coach. You don't. You never hear. And I don't even need to go into how Red Auerbach manipulated, controlled, dominated through the political system to get best players in his team every single year. And nobody could do anything about it. It was a mob mentality that they had. If you look at one of the most racist cities in the world, where is it at? Boston, Massachusetts. Man, this ain't no debate. It's not. It's not even close. No era in the world was more watered down in NBA basketball besides the 60s. You had less competition, and you had people excluded. Simple.
What you got, True?
All that being said, a lot of great points. But like you even mentioned yourself, that Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain was the top of the athletes regardless. So let's say it wasn't exclusion regardless. They still have been the best athletes. So you can't even so you necessarily can't even use that because at the end of the day they'll still be the best. Wherever case may be.
Let me ask you this, Trudy King. You get an athlete like you talk about the best athlete. You get an athlete like what's the runner name? Usain Bolt?
Right.
Everybody know Usain Bolt? Yeah. Can Usain Bolt break these world records without being pushed by other great athletes? He's asking question. Can he be pushed to break these records without the competition of these other athletes?
Of course.
No, brother, he's not. You gotta have somebody to push.
Okay, but Bill Russell. Okay, that being said, though, Wilt Chamberlain is one of the most athletic players of all time.
Hold on, I'm gonna let you eat to yourself. All right. Now let's exclude Boston Celtics because they won every single championship for political reasons. Okay, let's exclude them. The other 7 teams, you know, Wilt Chamberlain. Name me 2 guys that played in the 60s, please. Just name me 2.
Need 2?
Just 2. No Boston Celtics, no Wilt Chamberlain. Name me 2 other guys, please.
Like you said, black players?
2 guys, period.
Nate Thurman and Oscar Robertson.
Talk about 1960, bro. So you're going to go all the way to the end of the era.
You said 60s. Top of my head.
Right, bro. I'll give you that.
Bob Patet.
Name me 2 more. Name me 2 more.
Bob Patet.
You're gonna have to look it up. I already know. Bro, if that era was so great and that era was so dominant, you would be able to name me more than 4 players.
Man, them niggas in the 60s was weak,
Bob
man.
Patet.
The who?
Bob Patet. Or Petit.
But no, he said somebody said that era was weak.
That era was weak, man. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't, bro. St. Louis Hawks.
Them niggas
you can't control.
And that era was watered down. Now,
okay.
Hey, one of these guys came in. Hold on. One of these guys came here the other day and said that the average height in that league was 6'7". I don't know what stats of what from he's the most hated by.
That's fact, though.
You go look it up. That's facts though. The average big man had in the 60s was 6'10".
No, they were not, bro.
Go look it up.
What was the average height then?
Time out. You do understand Bill Russell wasn't even 6'10", right?
He was 6'9".
The average big man, 6'10". Come on, y'all.
Go look it up. Go look it up. Listen. You go.
Why you cannot believe everything is typed, bro?
No, it's multiple. There's multiple articles. I've seen multiple articles. Researches multiple articles. It's the same height, 6'10".
I promise you, the height of America wasn't even that tall, then, bro.
Yeah, but we talking about the NBA.
I'm saying I see multiple articles. The average height of big man was 6'10". The average height was 6'7".
Time out. This is what I'm gonna have you do. What you can do, it's only 8 teams. Go back and Google 1960. NBA 1960. Then when those 8 teams pop up, just click on those teams and pull up the you. Don't read the articles. Go look it up yourself.
Bob Patet was 6'9", bro.
Huh?
Bob Patet was 6'9".
Again, you name
Bob Pettit.
It was probably about out of 8 teams. Each team probably had one big man. Each team. One real true big man. But look at the size of the guards, too.
It was 6'5". It was 6'5" for point guards.
Your guards, bro.
No,
they're not even 6'5" now.
Hold up.
60s were taller than the guards today.
Hold up.
Hold up. Are you serious?
Man, if you even pull up the tape, man. If you put on the tape, them niggas in the 60s is boo-boo, man.
No, man. Hell no.
Them niggas was dribbling with their head down. Tapping their
I mean, again, their technology wasn't as good. They didn't have the same shoes and all that kind of stuff. So the game, but them guys.
I understand that, but I'm saying if you put them in a vacuum, bro, they can't compare. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not fair to even compare them to the modern NBA.
So what do we consider?
They gonna say that 50 years. They gonna say the same thing 50 years from now.
You can't start comparing until all people were allowed to play. That opened the playing field. When you got people that have been a whole race of people that's been excluded.
So Jackie Robinson wasn't so Jackie. Hold on, so Jackie Robinson wasn't good.
Baseball. We're not talking about baseball. We're talking about basketball.
Jackie, but he wasn't the best black player though.
I know what I say he was.
We're not talking about
we're talking
about basketball.
But you can say that today though.
Bill Russell was third in the row in the high jump. He was a super like it don't matter what centers was athletic, just as athletic as Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain in league history.
Again, we've had plenty of centers that are. Anthony Davis is just athletic as some guys now. You want to name a guy that's that tall? I mean, because no, listen to what you're saying. You're telling me to name guys that are 6'9", between 6'9" and 7 foot that are just as athletic. Now, Wilt Chamberlain was a special. He was probably one of the most freakiest athletes in the world. They said he could bench press 600 pounds. It ain't many men in the world that can do that. So I'm not comparing nobody to Wilt Chamberlain.
Especially with that wingspan.
He was 7 foot tall. That boy run under 200, and the boy bench press 600 pounds and had a 50 vertical, bro. So at 7 foot. So I'm not comparing. He was, to me, Wilt Chamberlain's the greatest athlete of all time. But I don't think he's the best basketball player of all time. I just don't. Now, that league, he scored much as he wanted the first 7 years. After he started doing stuff, he said. It just trying to win. Because at the end of the day, he was one giant out there doing everything against 5 of the best players in the league. Boston literally had top 10 players in the league next to Wilt Chamberlain. They started, think about it, they started 5 back then. They're all Hall of Famers. All of them. You really had Wilt Chamberlain going up against Boston. All in. That's not where's the competition? You ain't need to know those teams that would even compete. You probably couldn't even name 5 of the teams that play out of that. Even name
right. But here's the thing though.
St. Louis Hawks.
The NBA didn't start it in the 80s, the 70s, in the 90s. It's all star. You have the NBA. The NBA. They Bill Russell them. They laid the all that being said, they laid the foundation of what you see now.
And they get that credit.
Bill Russell was doing. Bill Russell was hitting the ball in a fast break back then. He was being the passer.
Here's the key. What does that have to do with the argument that we're debating right now?
You said it's watered down. You said it's watered down, but how is it watered down when you had people back then? You had people back then that were doing things back then. They doing now.
No, that's one individual. And don't tell me we don't have 6'9" guys breaking up the ball now. We have 6'9" point guards now, bro.
You gotta understand this too, though. Basketball wasn't even.
Hey, Magic Johnson's the same size as Bill Russell, bro. LeBron James is Bill Russell, actually bigger. They both bigger.
Right, but here's the thing, though. You got to also put it in context. Basketball wasn't as big as it was back then either. That's why all the black athletes, majority black,
bro. You are making my point about it being the most watered down here. That's all you're doing is making my point.
Yeah, you are.
No, man.
The competition level was not even close to what it is.
Because you have more teams today, though.
There's more.
You have more teams. You have more athletes. You have more technology. You have more everything.
But you
the more you have, the better.
Foundation.
Hold on.
The more you have is the better.
Hey, again, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, all the way up, those guys had basketball as their number one thing. That was all they did. It was their number one job, y'all. In the 60s, it wasn't like that. Go look it up. Okay. These boogers, maybe towards the late part of the 60s, maybe 68, 69 there. But go look at 1960, 1961. These guys had a regular job and played it.
Yeah, so basically we got two responsibilities. You gotta make sure all that. So how that's what's it. So you gotta worry about
away from your basketball skill, bro.
But here's the thing, but you still had it. But a lot of them top athletes.
You're forgetting the debate. You're forgetting what we're talking about. Watered down.
You're right. You said watered down. Okay, but how? But like you said, that's impressive. No, but here's the thing. It's not. I'm not getting away with the debate because it's impressive. I look at that as being impressive. That fact that you had to get a regular job, whatever you got to work, and still play and compete at a high level.
It's going to be more competitive. Who has to spend 40 to 50 hours a week working a good job and then play in the NBA? How much time does he have to work on the NBA game?
I mean, people would say a lot of them players who feel great doing that.
Elder. You think players today would be accurate back then, shooting the ball?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
If you put the worst player in the league now back then, he would be an all-star.
What does that mean, bro? What does that mean? What do you mean they would be accurate?
Weren't accurate? Players back then.
Here's the key.
Here's the key. Players weren't shooting the ball like that. They all played transition ball.
Hey, listen close. No, it was slowed down, more methodical. No. What happened is the majority of the players had to go have regular jobs because they didn't pay enough money in the NBA. But because these giants, these athletic freaks, were the show for the people, they didn't have to do that. You didn't hear about Will Chamberlain having to go have a regular job, nor Bill Russell. They still made the money to entertain the people. So they could be full-time on training for basketball. That's all he did. Will Chamberlain, that's all Bill Russell did. Half the guys in the league had to go get jobs just to support their families because the NBA didn't pay enough.
Can I chime in on something as well?
Great competition. That's watered down.
And nah.
It is watered down, bro.
I can't say nothing watered down when that's the highest level.
Hold on. If you got a guy that's in the gym working out 6 to 8 hours a day on his basketball game, whether that be calisthenics, stretching, shots, baths, whatever you got to do, but he's spending 8 hours a day doing that. And you got another guy that's working 8 to 10 hours a day on his regular job and may take an hour to get some shots up because he got a family and children to deal with too. You telling me that guy is just as competitive as that guy that's spending his entire day working on his game?
I agree, but we can say that today too, though.
Who doesn't say that today? All these athletes are full-time athletes, bro, today. Full-time.
But not all of them are making it, though. There's a select few.
What do you mean?
Okay, so
making his point, though.
Not making one.
No. You're saying back then there weren't too many black players because they didn't have the opportunity But a person can say that today and say they didn't have the opportunity to do this, and that because they didn't go to this college.
No, bro, he's talking about from a rules standpoint.
The league was the owners wouldn't hire black players. We were going through the civil rights movement, bro. Do you know about the civil rights movement?
Yeah.
How are you comparing the civil rights movement to today? Anybody can play basketball how they want today. Nobody stopped you from going to play. Nobody stopped you from making the NBA if you're good enough. The competition level was so steep that the best athletes in the world make it to that level. Back then, the best athletes in the world didn't have the opportunity.
That's what you think, though.
Black players in college. None of them don't draft you. And most of the colleges wouldn't even take you. That's why go back and look at where these guys went to college at, bro. Go back in the 40s and 50s and look up where guys went to college.
Facts. Go watch the documentary Black
Most
Magic.
of them were going to colleges that they went to don't even exist. They don't even have these schools.
So back then with being 18, you would absolutely have to choose the best players that you have in front of you.
You breaking
today,
up.
Oh shit, I'm breaking up.
I hear you.
Okay, so I was just saying you had a select few that you had to choose back then, just like today. But today, you have even more players trying to get into the league than back then. So for you to say, well, this player such and such, he didn't have the opportunity. Well, I can say the same thing. This player went to this school, he had this coach, but he didn't get no offers. You feel me? But he was just as good or even better.
Bro, you missing his point.
That's completely different.
Yeah, that's completely different.
Because you're talking about players. Yeah, because you're talking about players not getting in because there's more competition surrounding them. So you have to be better in this day and age to even get through. Like to get to the NBA now is harder than ever.
This is why you can't.
Right.
But what he's saying is back in the 60s, it was you didn't even have the opportunity to get into the league because they weren't even allowing you in. So you can get in now, but you just have to be better than everybody else. So you have to be much better now to get into the league.
That goes for back then, though. If they weren't allowing any player just to get in the league, man, they had to choose the best players, regardless if they were white or black. So the competition was better.
He's basically saying that this is honest. I think I understand what you're saying. He's basically saying that he's basically saying no black player that got selected was the best of the best of best. Like they had to be compete. When it comes to compete, when you got to like I said, when it comes to like I said, pushing somebody and competitive wise, listen, oh snap, I got to really ball out. I got really to be determined. You know what I mean? And like so it's like. End of the day, they still got pushed some way, one way or another.
Nah, bro. But what Elder is saying, the point he had about to that point, the reason that they was allowing the elite big men in that is because they was giants, and that's from an entertainment standpoint. That was bringing to the league. You had guards like Curly Neal, them all them Harlem Globetrotters back in the day at guard. Could have killed them guards that was playing in the league back then. They wasn't letting them in there because they didn't think that it would bring that entertainment factor up. So I mean,
but this is why I don't.
You can say.
Go ahead, my bad.
From a decent. I mean, I see what you are saying, but still, bro, it's capped. They capped off a quota, and certain teams was not letting no black people in the league, regardless, however good you was. They just wasn't doing it. They didn't cap.
But let's be real though. We look at LeBron, and when they compare him to Jordan and Kobe, all they say is LeBron. He's so big. He just pushes people out the way and shit like this. So when you look at LeBron, he's bigger than the average NBA player. Take it back to Bill Russell. He was bigger than the average NBA player just by 2 inches. The average height was around 6'6", 6'7". So we bring it all the way to 2020, and we see fans today saying LeBron has an advantage because he's so physically strong. He pushes players out the way. Nobody wants to guard him because they're scared. They don't want to take a charge. How come we can't say the same thing back then with Bill Russell? I mean,
but it's not that he's not. That's not the argument here. The argument is that the league was watered down, bro.
Who watered it down?
But here's the thing, though.
The league watered it down because it wanted to stay like majority white.
Right, but how many arguably like
during the climate?
Okay, but when you say watered down, okay, you can literally say that for every era, right? For being watered down. Like for example, in this era, the center position, right? It's a watered down position. It don't really technically really don't even exist. You can technically say it don't even really exist no more in some degrees.
I mean,
as a responsibility as a center.
Down, but that
this is a weakest. This literally the weakest.
That's not true.
That depends on who you talking to.
They don't make
center's not watered down. It's not watered down. They just asked to do different stuff.
Yeah. The center
watered down.
They asked to do different stuff on the court.
The center position has just changed. You still have guys in the same height.
Not watered down.
I'm talking about just a skill set. I'm not talking about just a height.
They actually have more skills.
But it depends on what skill. Yeah, they're more skilled. Not from a post perspective, but
not from a post
perspective. Basketball sense,
the game has just changed.
But Kevin Durant wouldn't be accurate.
I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the strictly center. I'm not talking about this height. I'm talking about just a center. You playing center. Yeah. You compare. This is the weakest era of centers.
No, it's not.
Again, man, what you're doing is you're forgetting that the game has just evolved and it's doing something different.
Right. I'm not saying that they evolved.
You're looking at it and saying a center has to be a post-up guy. But today, basketball is saying because they want to spread the lane out and shoot more threes and get more layups, that centers ain't required to do that. But now what centers are required to do, instead of having a great post-up, they got to be able to shoot the three.
Yeah.
Right. Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this. Y'all think Jokic or Joe Embiid could be a top 10 center of all time?
All time?
That's what I'm saying.
You have to win chips to do that. Neither one of them got chips.
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about the talent.
I cannot have that discussion until them bookers start winning chips or they start getting incredible accolades. Like Karl Malone, he's going to be considered in a lot of people's eyes a top 10 player, or definitely he's in top 5 power forwards of all time. But it's because of his longevity and all the accolades that he won. He never got the chip. So that's why he's never going to be considered the best. That's why you hear about guys like Duncan and all them being above him, because he never won. This is the thing that bothers me about this generation. We want to ignore the reason why we play the game. What is the number one reason you play basketball?
Win championships.
No, that's not true, Elder.
We want to ignore winning.
No, that's not true.
No, what's not? I'm saying you about to say money. You can say money, Lamont, but you can say money, Lamont.
It wasn't Elder who because Elder actually agreed with me. I used the point that when I talk to older people about Scottie Pippen, they don't include winning. They only talk about the skill set.
Right, that's facts.
Because I don't agree. Lamont, hold on. I don't agree with that. People that really appreciate Pippen, they bring up the 6 championships.
I know it's not you because you were defending Pippen like I was. I include winning in my criteria. I include losing on Barkley's resume, Malone's resume, Stockton's resume. I have to include that on their resume when I look at how great you were in your era. So, I mean, you are right about that, but it goes both ways. It's not just people of this generation. It's also people of all generations.
They pick and choose. They pick and choose who they want winning to count for and who not to.
Yeah, and that's that. This is one of the reasons why I can never have LeBron James as the greatest of all time. He may go down as the greatest athlete of all time, but he can't be the best basketball player of all time because the goal of the game is to win, and he has lost in the finals too many times for me. Period. That's the number one reason he could never be the GOAT is because he's lost too many times. And the guys that have come before him, they didn't lose that many times. And the guy that set the standard, he didn't lose at all once he got there. So I'm never going to elevate him because I think his skill set or his points are all that over. He didn't do the reason why, to the highest degree, why we play the game. You play to win. You play to win. Now, the problem is, folks today, they want to set the criteria. Like one of these cats, he may be here tonight. Is KJ in here tonight?
Yeah, you talk to him. You just talk to him.
KJ wants to set the standard on what efficiency is. He wants to tell you what efficiency is. When the league has already set the standard and said, this is what an average 2-guard shoots in the league in this era. And then you have a guy that shoots well above that, 5 percentage points above that, and he still says he's inefficient by his standards.
Right.
Now, KJ got to watch, because of his age, he got to watch Kobe when Kobe was coming on the end of his career. So he's marred by looking at year 19 and year 20. He didn't get to see year 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, switch over to number.
Even 10 years ago.
9, 10, he didn't get to check them out. In his eyes, Kobe is inefficient. And he'll go and point out 2 or 3 things that proves his point. But at the end of the day, he don't get to determine what inefficiency is. The league said, guy shoots 45% from the field in the guard, he's a good scorer. He's an efficient scorer. Now, you can go get all these stats and all this bullshit that they coming up with today, yards and all that dumb shit. That stuff don't equate to wins, because you know what? The Houston Rockets is the number 1 team in the league. That shit. How many chips they don't won? A 0. So
analytically, Houston ain't number 1 though.
No, I'm talking about you telling me not the number 1 team when it comes to analytics.
Not as far as the ratings. They use analytics, but ratings they don't rate number 1 in analytics.
Either way, they're not winning. Either way, like you're not. That don't mean you're gonna win.
It does translate to, if you look at the top analytics, because at the end of the day, bro, it's all it is. It's just they just keep the numbers. If you look at the analytics, bro, the teams
who's that talking?
Top in the analytical category.
Who's that talking?
SB.
Who's that talking? What is it? Who is it?
SB.
SB. Okay. Let me tell you the facts. Analytics say, this is what y'all say. I'm going to use y'all facts. Analytics say the best shots to take are layups and 3-pointers. Does it not? Right?
That's correct.
That's what analytics say. Who won the championship this year?
Yeah, that's correct.
Who won the championship this year? Right. The Lakers.
The Lakers.
Where did they place? Where did they place when it came to 3-point shooting?
It was like what, bottom half, like what, like 28, 27?
They were not.
Yeah, but they points in the paint.
No, hold on. But in the finals, they shot 39% from the 3 in the finals. So they did switch it up. They shot really good.
They were the best. They was the best. They got the best
momentum.
Layups.
You said
hold on, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
You said in the
layups
finals,
and 3-pointers.
Yeah.
You said in the finals, right?
Yep.
Not in the playoffs, just the finals, right?
Just the finals.
Thank you. Look at all these games they won in the first, second, third round, still not being an efficient 3-point shooting team.
That's true.
Nah, but you leaving out another half, bro. It's points in the paint. You said layups and 3-pointers. They got a lot of.
Don't get me wrong.
Dominated the league in points in the paint.
No. I'm proving
analytically.
The Lakers were the most efficient team in the league in shooting. Did you know that? They had the highest shooting percentage of all teams in the league, but they couldn't hit a.
Right.
And you get teams, and what I was trying to say about Houston is a team that has sold out to analytics. What I'm saying, they're going to do strictly layups, strictly threes. They sold out to what you believe is the fact of the game. How's that fair for them? They've won nothing.
No, so I agree with what you're saying.
Hey, the numbers tell a story, but they do not tell the entire story.
Right.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you. But
for example, like my fault.
Houston's problem is Daryl Morey retired himself. He looks at the analytics too much for the 3-point line and the layups. You take the shots that are given to you, but I'm just saying, like the analytics, like the top teams in the league, bro. If you look at the rankings analytically, like if you look at any of the advanced metrics, they at the top of the league in the advanced metrics.
But SB though, but that necessarily don't mean you're gonna win though. I understand what you're saying.
If you go back in the years, bro, and look at the teams that's in the top half, I mean the top 10 in any advanced metric, bro, they won championships, bro.
Like the Mavericks, this year was like record breaking offensively this year, like last year.
Who was the top 10? Who was the top 5?
There's 2 ends of the basketball court, bro. We looking too much. Like all the analytics is measurement. It's not living and dying off of it. I mean, we put too much of a negative stigma on it because how these stupid general managers be using the analytics. But all it is, all you doing is measuring. All you should be doing is measuring the quality of your shots you get.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be used just to you kicking mid-range shots out. Nah, you take what the defense gives you, bro.
Right.
You get the best shot possible. But if you look at the metrics analytically, the top teams in the league is number one in them.
Right. And all that, like going back to like inefficiency and all that, like it doesn't that doesn't really say that much. Like efficiency doesn't really say that much. You look at somebody, oh, he's not efficient, but like you gotta look at what else they also do. Also, you know what I mean? Like Jason Kidd. You look at Jason Kidd. He was not an efficient, quote unquote, efficient player, but he helped his team win. You know what I mean? So it's like efficiency doesn't end all be all. Like that's when numbers going back to numbers. You know what I mean?
Efficient player over a less efficient player, bro. If they have similar production, I'm taking the more efficient player over the less efficient player.
Because at the end of the day, like when it comes to players, it's like
shots.
Right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to like players, things like you have things that's not on the stat sheets. You know what I mean? That would define like you do things that's not like they don't like like you boxing somebody out or you doing like it's certain things like it's a lot of things on the court that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Track of.
You know what I mean?
Momentum
that you can't track. And that's why I say I bring up Jason. That's why that's why I bring up Jason Kidd. That's why I bring up Jason Kidd because like he led that before he went to New Jersey. They was nothing before he got there, and they went to the finals. Like he wasn't like it ain't all about numbers. Like it's not all about. Like, you can put up the best. You can put up the best numbers in the world and still lose. You look at people that average like over 35 points a game. They don't win champion. They don't win. Their team don't be winning.
Nah, because they doing.
It's like people. I'm talking about over like 30. I'm talking about people that over like 37 points.
Nobody
like
ever 30. Nobody
like,
ever averaged 30.
When Michael Jordan, like when Michael Jordan, when Michael Jordan averaged 37. No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
And win no championship. What are y'all talking about?
I'm talking about for a season, Elder. I'm not talking about like for like. I'm talking about
88, 89 when he averaged like 30.
Yeah, I'm talking like I'm talking about like them like people averaging like them crazy like world champion averaging 50.
Yeah, like too much use.
Like you can't. You're not gonna win. Like you have basically high usage rate. You got like you're not gonna win. So it's like numbers not like
in a playoff series. You in a playoff series they taking that away, bro. You can't have a high usage rate like that and win no championship.
Right. That's why going back to we were talking about like even Giannis. You know what I mean? You can't have the Giannis do everything. You're not gonna like going back to that. Like you can't just have people just do everything. You're not gonna win.
No,
like, I don't care how good you is. I don't care you can average 100 points in the game. You're not gonna win like that.
Yeah.
Like
not no championship.
No, like it's a shoot. That's one play. James Harden, he averaging 36. That don't mean nothing.
But that's why I hold efficiency in such a thing because the easier you get in your shots, bro, that translates to wins, bro. If you look at it, bro, the players with the highest PRs, bro, have the most championships, bro. Except Karl Malone.
It do.
Well, you got to understand in the NBA, especially in the playoffs with a 7-game series, if you have one player that's doing everything, it's easier to hone in on him and take away what he does best and make him less effective.
Right.
So, the most effective teams are the teams that spread the wealth and give everybody roles. Those are the hardest teams to play against. So,
God, that's how you're gonna win.
That's how it is. That's why.
That's the only way you're gonna win.
That's why we've seen the Bucks fail in the playoffs the last couple of years.
They try to have Giannis. Hey, yo, he our 2-time MVP, defensive player of the year. He can do everything. Hey, go out there. Like, nah, it ain't gonna work like that, man. I don't care how good you is. It's a team game. Not 1-on-1.
Right.
It's a team game. You can't just do it all by yourself.
I'm asking personally, Giannis, he has to give the same amount of production as he's doing in the regular season in the playoffs. That's all I'm asking.
He tries to, but here's the thing: it's different. But it's different in the playoffs, though. That playoff basketball is different, man. You can.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. It's that's why I said the jump shot is so much important for him because it's tough for him to score like the way he does in the regular season.
Right. It is really the players on this team too. Because here's the thing: like when he do, they one of the best shooting teams. They one of the best shooting. Right, exactly. They one of the best shooting teams in the NBA. So when you have Giannis making the right plays and they ain't bricking shots, it's like come on, like you can't have that. Like
Giannis needs some offensive moves, man. He just
I'm saying put him close to the rim. That's all I'm saying. I ain't asking have some schemes to get him at the rim. And I don't know if that's a post game or just put him in situations he get close to the rim. Pick and rolls. He's a big man.
If Giannis had a lead post game, he'd be unstoppable.
He don't say he don't necessarily right, but put him anything that could put him closer to the rim.
Anything
that could put him closer to the rim.
He needs something that that's what I thought I'm asking.
But hold on, y'all act like it's easy just to get close to the rim. These teams have.
I said coaches. I'm talking about the coaches. I'm talking about the coaches could like. They don't. When Giannis be doing pick and roll like that, Lamont. I'm just.
I know, but when you got teams if you got 3 6'9" guys on the court, and then the point guards are both 6'6" and 6'5", and you got all this length on the court, and they all fast. I mean, it's easy for them to pack the paint, and if you kick it out, they have the length to still cover the 3-point line. So you still ineffective. This is exactly what the Miami Heat were able to do with Jimmy Butler and Crowder and Iguodala. Right. This lengthy guys who are also fast can cover the court. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds. Go to the post. Right. It's a lot harder.
No, it's not easy at all.
No, I'm saying it's a team effort. I'm just giving you an idea. Like you can't just have to do top the key, right? Like it's better. That's better than just having. Like it's better than having him top the key, right, and then try to drive.
Giannis I mean, great athlete, but in the playoffs, he gets exposed. That's really what it boils down to. He needs
to add more skill to
go-to move.
I don't think he needs to add more skill. I think the player, his team needs to get better, man.
He is a good player.
Like his team is trash.
It's just like with Mike, bro. Mike was great, averaging 35 and all that, bro. But like I said, he needed to understand. You feel me? To be within the system, he needed to get more efficient shots.
Right? No, that's not what it is.
He's learning how to trust his teammates.
Phil Jackson said, "Do less, Mike. We gonna let other people do their job.
Trust your teammates." Mike, he told that. John, trust his teammates. They bring their offensive shots. That man, listen. Like when they be doing that wall on them, they do that wall on them. When they put that wall on, man, listen. There's no reason you one of the best shooting teams in the NBA, and when it's playoff time, your best player, you about to do the wall. You know he about to pass it to you, and you know for a fact you're gonna get the ball, and you gonna brick, you gonna miss. Come on, man, that's unacceptable.
That's the same thing I'll be saying with LeBron too, though. But
I personally think they all kind of stay the same. If you talking about the Bucks, I mean, you watch it. They pack the paint. They dare them to shoot. As long as you,
they don't shoot how they shoot in the regular season, though.
Yeah, they shoot. They got some shooters.
Point shoot team in the league.
Brook Lopez, one of the best shooting bigs in the league.
That's how LeBron's teams was in Cleveland, bro. You feel me? They'll win 66.
They just not good enough. That team is not good enough.
You know what? I just find it funny. We always have these conversations, and when the teams lose, no matter how bad the great players play, when the teams lose, everybody's garbage. But
I'm not saying we're not saying he played perfect. If you get those type of
open looks, bro, you gotta hit them looks, bro. Period. If you was hitting them in the regular season, you should hit them in the playoffs, bro.
But here's the thing that we actually
ask a player, you feel me, to draw
do everything, man,
and he kick it out to you, and you can't hit an open shot, bro. That's on you as a basketball player.
You got Eric Bledsoe out here stealing money out here, man.
You got LeBron and Danny Green, bro.
Yo, money. What's up, Bees?
Hey, man.
What up, Bees?
Hey, what up, True? Hey, I just seen a video, a Twitter video. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, Trump got the whole crowd screaming, LeBron James suck.
That's out of pocket, man.
Yeah, I just seen that.
That's out of pocket, man.
Hey, I got to say something about you guys' debate, and you guys both made great points, but let me say this, and this is kind of like to the debate that me and Lamont was having. When you talking about the 60s, and I said the same thing, The NBA is the youngest of the three major sports. Prior to that, most of the great athletes did not even want to play basketball. Okay, the NBA was the last one to bring in a black player, right? So the great athletes were playing football and they were playing baseball. It wasn't probably until, like I said, the 80s where players started to grasp, get a grasp of the NBA. Athletes started wanting to play in the NBA. When you're talking about Russell and Wilt, like the brother said, you had guys that, and I was trying to look for it. I remember there was a black team. It seems like they played an NBA team and they smoked them, or maybe it was an all black team and they smoked them. Like it wasn't even, they were not allowed to play during that time. I don't know if you call that watered down, though, but
it is watered down. If you're not allowing the best athletes to play, your league is watered down.
Hold on, but it doesn't that go to the point that my whole point was that the league did have implemented policies or did things to water itself down, like they did in the 60s with those policies, and the same thing with the 90s with the expansion team. The league did things to water itself down. It doesn't mean that.
Right. No, how do you understand in that argument that you're using? You gotta have the same amount of talent pool that you're picking from all throughout. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, let's look at it like this.
But you can't have the same talent pool because you there's only 80 jobs.
Right, but who are you picking from?
It doesn't matter. There's 80
jobs. It does matter.
Total.
If you have 80 jobs, right? And let's say you go from 80 to 100, but when you had 80 jobs, you had 1,000 people to pick from. And when you jump up to 100, well, now you got 1,500 people to pick from.
But Kenneth,
more jobs and it's diluted.
But Kenneth, when you add 2 expansion teams into the league at any time, you can't just magically make a draft and just say we need new players. Like you have to. You're basically saying we immediately need NBA talent on this team. We can't create an entirely. We can't make up a new draft and say we're going to have a separate college draft just for the expansion teams. That's not what they did.
All right.
They pulled talent. They pulled talent from other teams to make their own team. So what you did was you weakened those teams while trying to create your team, which ultimately was trash. So you made them trash while also creating a trash team yourself. That equals multiple watered down teams.
Okay, so let me watered down. So let me ask you a question. I'm sure, feel that the Showtime Lakers and Bad Boy Pistons was 2 of the greatest teams ever, right?
But I'm talking about the 90s, not the 80s.
I know you're talking about the 90s, but understand that happened in the 80s, in the late 80s.
Okay. Well, hold on. That was only a few teams. There were more teams that came in the 90s. It started in 1988, and it continued on to like 94.
It was 88, and 89. 2 teams in 88, 2 in 89. And they had 2 more in 96. So in 2 years, they added 4 teams in the late 80s, right?
Yeah.
During the Showtime Laker era, why didn't their win total boost up to like almost 70 wins?
Who are you talking about? So hold on, say that again.
Lakers.
Your phone was messing up. I couldn't.
How come the Bad Boy Pistons and the Showtime Lakers didn't even sniff 70 wins?
I don't understand what you're saying.
But it's not a lot of teams that win 70 games, period, though.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry?
Difficult.
It's not hard. It's not a lot of teams that win 70 games, period, though.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Even though you added 4 teams, you would think, well, if you're questioning the competition, we already established teams, 2 that are considered 2 of the greatest ever, right? Even the Celtics, their win total should shoot up, right?
No.
What the argument
Not
was?
necessarily.
Not necessarily. That's your argument.
No.
Nah, he's talking about.
Hold on.
Champions.
You got to take into account that.
Hold on, listen.
I mean, LeBron has showed you that you don't have to go out there and expend all that energy in the regular season when the Celtics know they only get up for certain teams. There's certain games that they ain't gonna win just for schedule because of the schedule.
So hold on. First of all, you were wrong when you said in 88, between 88 and 89, the league added 4 teams, not 2.
No, that's what I said. I said they added 2 in 88 and 2 in 89.
So that's 4. Then they added 2 more in 95, which makes 6 in a short period of time. So you're talking about adding 6 teams in a 10-year span. Where did this additional NBA talent come from?
Yeah. Like I said, I get your point, but I'm saying it's not like the talent wasn't there.
Hold on. It wasn't there. It wasn't there.
It was.
Hold on. When did the ABA join the NBA?
1976.
Okay. How many teams joined the NBA? Was it 4, right?
Or 4 or 5? Was it?
4 or 5? Maybe it was 6. I had to go look.
But they had players. They had players though.
They had like the top level players though. Either way,
they took teams, not players. Teams. Okay.
Hold up, but some players from different teams didn't enter, so they had it. Some players had to go by themselves, whatever. Because some of the teams didn't integrate.
They took teams.
They joined already established.
That's true. That's true.
A 10-year span from 77. I think that's when the ABA joined. Those teams joined the ABA from 77 plus the Mavericks in 85. So you're talking about in an 8-year span in the Golden 80s, everybody loved. In an 8-year span, they also jumped up with 6 teams.
Yeah, but you had a pool of ABA players to choose from. So what I'm saying is, if there was a merger, then you had a pool of ABA players to choose from to help bolster your team if you were a new team. These are not new teams created out of thin air. We're talking about in the 90s, from 88 to 95. We're talking about new teams created out of thin air that needed a full team. They needed there was no pool of players to go choose from just sitting around. You had to plug from other NBA teams.
Outside of those big name players that went there.
Tell me another time in the NBA where a team could just pluck from any other team. So you had to protect certain players. So your players couldn't get plucked. Anybody that was unprotected could get stolen by an expansion team. And that's what was happening.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. They didn't get stolen first. Because like I said, it also helped those teams because they were able to shed salary. Some of those players came back, right? They were able to shed salary. Maybe players that they no longer need or whatever opened up so they could sign somebody else. You know, you got to look at it both ways. I mean, but just the argument of the talent being diluted, I don't know. I think diluted is not really the correct word because you're telling me, first of all, it's not like they had to go and beg people to come play in the NBA. You know. But here's the point. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me just finish this because you know my phone dropped the last time we were talking about this. But you're acting like this whole talent thing is an exact science. I just spent the last 2 hours listening to you guys talk about the draft and trades and you know none of this stuff is an exact science. So until they start having to find players or this, that, and the third, I'm not prepared to sit here and say that any time the NBA has the talent ever been diluted. You know, that don't make sense to me. You know,
hold on. Look out. If you have a team of 10 players and I'm able to take 2 of your players and you can only protect 3 of your top players, I can dilute your team. That's called diluting your team.
Kenneth, we're not saying dilute. We're not saying diluted talent. We're saying diluted teams.
Right. Okay. So you're saying I get it.
Hold on. When BJ Armstrong got drafted in the expansion draft, that diluted the Bulls. It took a very valuable player from the Bulls.
We're not talking about talent necessarily being diluted. We're talking about just the competition of a team. Team wise.
He was a.
Did the Bulls have to leave BJ Armstrong unprotected?
No, you can only protect so many players. So now you have to choose. So now instead of you spend all this time building up this team, but then now all of a sudden you're asked to protect only a certain amount of them, and the rest that you leave unprotected can get drafted in the expansion draft.
Right.
That's diluting your team.
It's not diluting if you don't need him. If you don't need, they could have.
Oh man, you saying they didn't need BJ Armstrong?
I got a question, Kenneth.
Hold on.
When you finish.
Their last three players off the bench.
I got one question for you.
Well, right, Lamont? Did they have to make BJ Armstrong available in the expansion draft?
I think they had to. I think that was a big story. You gotta go look.
No, they did not. You can leave. I think it was 3 players. If they pick one, you can take a player back. Right? But you got to choose who you wanted. And like I said,
hold on. Listen. Why do you have to choose? Like, you're putting these teams in a position where they have to choose on players that they built up, teams that they created. Now you saying this team that just came out of nowhere get the opportunity to choose between any of my guys? That's called diluting my team to make yours something. Yeah, that's called diluting the team.
But Lamont, some of those guys don't. But hold on, Lamont. Some of those guys don't even play. Some of those guys you're talking about, you could have left the 10th, 11th, and 12th. You could have left because there's normally 15 players on the NBA roster. You could have left the 13th, 14th, and 15th players if you wanted. Those guys are not.
You couldn't do that.
Like you're missing guys that don't even see any kind of valuable minutes to begin with.
First of all, ain't no owner or no expansion team gonna take the 13th, 14th, and 15th guy off every team.
Hey, if that's what those
NBA do that, that's the bad investment. Here's my point, brother. I'm gonna ask you this question.
Hold on, let me respond to your first point. If that's what those NBA teams decided, this is who you're going to have available, you don't have a choice. Those owners did not have a choice. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One question. The first thing is owners always have the choice if they leave. Second point is, you look at the league today. You probably got more stars in the league, more talented today than any time in the NBA. But yet you have all these teams that can't compete because you have too many teams.
But wait, you're saying you have more stars in the league?
Right now, you have more talent in the league today than you've ever had in the NBA.
How do you quantify that?
The skill level of the players.
Skills don't make you better, though, bro.
Hey, I'm just telling you. Overall, the talent pool in the NBA today is as rich as it's ever been.
But here's the thing, though, right?
But when you say,
hold on, let Beast finish.
There's too many teams in the NBA.
Anthony Bennett's fat ass was supposed to be
for me not to cut you off.
What happened?
Hold on. Let Beast finish. He hasn't said nothing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, all I'm saying, bro, is how many teams in the league today are shitty and gonna stay shitty for how long? And they keep getting top picks.
Mm-hmm. That's been the NBA, man, for as long as we've been watching it. You're always gonna have that.
And then when somebody
this era is worse than this era.
When you say
it's getting
skill,
worse, it ain't terrible, getting better. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna add a team in Vegas. They're gonna add more teams.
Man, listen, they're gonna add don't be in the next 50 years, they'll probably add like 10 teams, dude. Like, let's be real. Like, it's gonna be they're gonna probably do it. They're gonna do a situation probably like how many teams in baseball? They got like a National League and American League. Like they got
32.
32.
Right.
All together. But either way, I feel like our NBA is so much global now, man. Like it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, man. Like
the NBA, I think they
plan to make the league global.
Even with that, I mean, I think they could easily accommodate more teams, no problem, and it's not going to hurt the talent. It's not
be hard.
When somebody says skill, bro, you can say that NBA players are skilled today, more skilled than back then, but that doesn't make them better because I would ask, who's more skilled, Dirk Nowitzki or Shaq?
Dirk Nowitzki's more skilled.
But he's not better. That's good. See?
That's
see
true.
that. I mean, but again, that's
valid.
subject on what you consider because Dirk can't do what Shaq does in the post,
and Shaq can't do what Dirk does.
Right, but that's true. But
they got different games, bro. But if you ask me,
Hold on, but why would you compare a small forward, power forward to a center?
Yeah, if you ask me who the most dominant was,
But you said
it was
skill,
Shaq.
though.
But you ask me who
you gotta
I
use
give
somebody.
more
You gotta use somebody in that
kudos
position to be easier.
Nah,
I give
not
more
really.
kudos to Dirk.
I mean, look,
That's like
look, when I hear people say, even like, let's say like LeBron James and what he's doing now, and I say a lot of this has to do with the era and the league changes. And you heard what I said earlier that a lot of these things are manufactured because they're looking for the next Jordan. You know, so they make these things, they put these things in position because they know this is scoring. They make scoring easier because they know this is what brings the fans in. Like Lamont, like what you were saying, it's business. I get it, but I don't think. But if you put Grant Hill in today's league, even if you put Scottie Pippen, who I think would be better today than he was when he played, you know, if I tell you Scottie Pippen, where in his prime was doing 22, you know, 9 and 7. Is it far-fetched to think that Scottie Pippen today would be doing 25, 10, and 9?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because he can't shoot.
It's not that big of a difference, bro.
Wait. Neither can Giannis. He's doing 30. Neither can Giannis.
Pippin's not Giannis.
6'11".
No, I don't care. He's not Giannis.
6'11",
How is
not
Giannis
6'11",
30 points a game?
Pippen is not Giannis. Pippen didn't have the ability to get to the rim the way Giannis does.
It's a lot easier to get to the rim now. Yeah, I agree.
No, it's not.
I agree.
Hold on, that's not true.
Who's there waiting for him?
Hold on, that's a lie. That's a lie right there. Because we just watched the Miami Heat show you that it's hard to get to the rim when we really want to stop you. We just watched Miami.
That's what Pippen saw on tonight.
So what I'm saying is Pippen played in an era with illegal defense and no zone. He can get to the rim anytime he wanted. It wouldn't happen in this era because they packed the paint on him. If you can't shoot,
how do they pack the paint? You can't even stay in the paint.
Oh, that you can't? What did they do to Giannis? How did Miami Heat stop Giannis?
I'm sorry?
How did the Miami Heat stop Giannis?
Or LeBron James back in the day.
Hold on. How did Toronto Raptors?
He's not a shooter, though.
They took away his open ability. Hold on, you asked me a question. I'm going to answer. They took away his ability to score in the open court. They put him in the half-court game. That's what they did. And they dared him to shoot the ball. That's it.
So the only way you can dare somebody to shoot the ball is if you pack the paint.
Well, you don't have to pack the paint.
Zone.
But
That's
Giannis
called
is not a good shooter, though.
You don't have zone.
That tells me you don't understand NBA defense today.
Lamont, how far is the three-point line from the paint?
What are you talking about? I don't.
I think it's 18.
15.
You don't have to give this guy 10 feet. You don't have to dive all the way down the paint to dare him to shoot.
That's kind of do. He's kind of do though.
About Giannis is that if Giannis's defender ain't shading to Giannis gonna dunk the ball on him every time.
Dude can get in the rim can be in the rim 3-point line 3 steps.
Going to the rim.
He can get in the rim at the 2 or 3 steps.
And that help is what Lamont's talking about. In the 90s,
what are you talking about?
Hold up, dog. You had to play straight up. There was illegal defenses, and centers could camp in the post. You can't do that today.
Centers. You guys be the first one to tell me that it's basically easier to score in the 90s than it is today. Is that what you're telling me?
This is what I'm gonna tell you.
Yes.
This is what I'm gonna tell you. Kobe Bryant had a hard time getting to the rim than Mike did.
That's easier to score in the 90s. Yes.
Come on, man. Come on. Be better than this.
Yes. 100%.
Hold on, Lamont. It's easier to score in the 90s.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why.
How come team put up 120, 130 points in the 90s? They was putting up.
I'm gonna tell you this
Because
right
they didn't
here.
have no skills.
I'm gonna tell you this right here. At first, they were less skilled, so you didn't have as many dynamic scores. So what? Also, you're talking about an era where all you had to do was beat one man, and you can pull up mid range and have an open jumper. Isaiah Thomas did it his whole career in the 80s. Just break your man down, you wide open.
Isaiah Thomas wasn't skilled?
No, I'm saying he was skilled, but I'm saying is
okay.
In this era, you beat your man, you're gonna have two people standing in front of you as soon as you're done with them two. Back in that era, you break your man off, you got open daylight right there.
Okay, brother.
Give me an example of somebody else, because I told you Giannis Antetokounmpo is not skilled. He's a great athlete.
That's a lie. He's skilled.
No,
not skilled.
Let me ask you this question.
You just saying stuff.
Hey, my brother.
Y'all just saying stuff.
He's skilled, man.
How many power forwards? Hold on. How many power forwards in the history of the game that can do what Giannis can do?
None.
Wait. We're talking about skill.
Exactly. We're talking about skill. What powerful? What you mean? What you mean? That's a lie. What you mean? It's a lie.
Back on somebody. It's a
Let
lie.
me ask you a question, my brother. I'm gonna ask you a question, straight up, and we're gonna stay strictly in the '90s. We're gonna take Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Tell me who was the most athletic defender he faced in the '90s.
Probably Dennis, and well, that's probably let's see.
You got to think.
Dang, he got it. Dang. I thought I got Ether.
Let's see.
Thought I got Ether.
But
Martin Jordan was defending Percy Hawkins. Hawkins. Yo, get out of here, man.
Huh? What about Clyde Drexler? What about Latrell Sprewell? What about Mitch Richmond?
Hey,
hold on. Mitch Richmond was not a defender.
Well, he had to play defense on him.
I like that. I like that comeback.
Hold on. No. Hold on. That's what they had Pippen for.
I like that. I like that comeback. He had to defend.
Jordan wasn't guarding them dudes.
He had to play defense.
Hold on. Jordan was not guarding them dudes. Jordan was not guarding them.
Jordan wasn't. Todd Tate believe Jordan wasn't even guarding Reggie Miller.
You know what that
with Lord Times.
Because when he tried to guard Reggie, he got faced.
Whoever was the starting Jordan was on him. Whoever was the starting small forward, Pippen was on him.
You're right.
Ron Harper was guarding Reggie Miller, man. Ron Harper was guarding Reggie Miller, man.
I'm sorry.
Mitch Richmond used to give Jordan the work.
Okay, well, I mean, and even with that, the best he can do is score 22 points a game. I bet you he played today, he'd probably be pushing 27 or 28 if he played today.
Oh,
the first ones, you guys are the first ones that's telling me that it's easier to score today than in the 90s. That's ridiculous.
Hey, and your comment about the league trying to find the next Jordan, they ain't trying to find the next Jordan. They have found LeBron. They don't need to replicate Mike.
No, they manufacture them, right?
All the league need to do is keep Mike as the GOAT. The league needs to keep Mike as the GOAT.
Why? Why?
Because that bar.
Then the train can keep rolling.
Then who?
As long as Michael
Jordan. I never thought about that. Oh, I never thought about that.
Jordan is the GOAT.
Dang, I never thought about that. That's good, Bees.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. I don't know how old you guys are. Okay, I'm almost 50.
Hey, I'm 48 years old, player.
Okay, all right. Let's understand. Okay, let's understand because you guys asked this question earlier, and you were talking about the GOAT. At one time, it was Kareem. Before,
it's never been Kareem.
You could say it was before Jordan. Before Jordan, Magic was
never been Kareem.
I'm sorry.
At that time, they was never going to put no moves on him as they faced.
That's a fact. He talking about NBA. He talking about NBA.
We understand here. Okay, so what you're saying is the NBA is going to always, even though the NBA don't make that decision, the fans do. But let's just go ahead and say that what you're telling me is true. The NBA is going to always call Michael Jordan the greatest of all time, right? I don't know if you can go to the website and see,
if there's a greatest all time thing, and is the NBA says Michael Jordan might be, but Michael Jordan be considered the greatest of all time, and what you're telling me is that they're going to keep manufacturing players to pit against Michael Jordan's legend? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. So why can't? Because what's going to happen is the people like with my son. Okay, my son calls me up. We're having conversations about Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Right? Yep. You already got players that's coming up behind LeBron James. Yep. Why not make LeBron James the GOAT, and then spend the next 10, 12, 15 years manufacturing Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo to go against James?
No, they're not manufacturing nothing, bro. These players are great, bro. You can't
You never said that. That's why I brought them up because
I'll check this out.
It's great.
When did the league start actually repping players? In the 80s. It was a black-white thing. It was Bird versus Magic. That's what saved the league. Then Mike came on the scene, and they've been pushing Mike ever since. When Mike retired in '98, the league revenue went down.
I know, right.
It was a whole lockout season.
Guess when Mike left? When LeBron showed up, they hard their next.
What are you talking, LeBron?
That was a coincidence. I do believe that wasn't a coincidence. I don't believe that's a coincidence. I don't believe that's a coincidence, man. I'm not saying. The league is strategic, man.
Listen, man. Hear what I'm trying to tell you. What, Mike, to get into that group, to be an owner, the owners gotta accept you. You know, just because you got money. Mark Cuban tried to buy the baseball team. They told him, "You ain't in our club, huh?"
What is that?
Mike
How does that?
Paid for the league, and they let him in. I'm telling you, when LeBron came on the scene, Mike laid it down.
When LeBron came on the scene, Michael Jordan would have had to been like 44, 45 years old.
That's not the point.
Competition. That's what I'm telling you. It's about marketing.
Good enough then.
It's about money. This shit is all about money. It ain't about the game.
Jordan old ass down because LeBron James came in. That's what you're telling me. They said
it's just Jordan came back for the ratings for real. Let's be real. He came back for the ratings.
LeBron James had a motherfucking high schooler.
Plus Jordan won on the team. It was basically this was the deal. This crazy time with the deal. The league needed ratings, and Jordan won on the team.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And they robbed him, and
That's exactly why he went to the Wizards.
That's basically what it is. There ain't nothing. We ain't saying no. We ain't saying Jordan ducked LeBron. We're not saying that. We just saying
not that at all.
We ain't saying that.
LeBron James was a high schooler selling, getting his high school games put on ESPN. That was
Look, I mean, understand. I'm not. LeBron James is a beast. I would put him either, 2 or 3 behind Kareem.
This ain't got nothing to do about which one's better than the other. This is about marketing, and this is about business.
Right, which is what I was saying. Yeah.
Caught up in who's better, which makes them more money. As long as that debate can go, the league gonna profit.
Exactly. Like LaMelo Ball coming up, man.
The league is hurting. It was hurting before this coronavirus thing.
Because LeBron,
dog, if the league was hurting, the damn salary cap wouldn't keep going up.
Okay, you give it time. Give it time. Okay, you talking about collective bargaining, right? But eventually they keep. Look, as long as they keep getting them TV contracts, okay, well that's where the argument is going to be. But once these TVs say, you know what, these they don't want it anymore. They don't want to advertise the NBA anymore. Yeah, it's going down, baby.
Man, that ain't happening. When you see that happen?
Because
I mean, I watch it.
The TVs don't have no choice because cable.
What do you mean they don't
bro.
have no choice?
I'm telling you facts, dog. You look up the streaming numbers for the NBA bubble. They was off
It was
the chart.
down
But
big time.
all you heard about was the ratings was down. But the streaming was off the chain.
No, I was about to say, and Vegas was getting a ton of money on bets putting in on basketball. That's another thing.
Hold on.
Like,
I'm gonna tell y'all one thing.
Too.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing that I heard too.
Big role. Trust
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Especially today when you ain't even got a lot of sports to bet on.
Yeah, but I heard the NBA salary cap is probably going to go up next year. That tells you right there that the NBA is doing just fine.
And mind you, this was a bad year. This was a bad year, and they still cap went up. Like it's the NBA would never. The NBA will always exist because the simple fact that it's so global now. It's so global now. It grows to such a height that it would never. Yeah, you're gonna have ups and downs.
I'm not saying that is in danger of going out of business or anything. I'm not saying that. What we're talking about is the view.
Right. That means they still going. That's what you talking about contracts. Like they still gonna have them contracts. Like it's too global now.
Generate money. They're still gonna be.
And all I'm saying to you is the way we view sports is changing, bro.
But you've been negotiating. Once that collective bargaining agreement is up,
Shoot.
they're going to have.
I want to be the prize. I want to be the prize. The NBA stop having salary cap.
That these teams
nah, that's not gonna happen.
With these networks.
But them owners is not gonna let that happen. No.
Hey, what?
Hold on.
Hey,
LeBron would get a $600 million contract.
I don't know why watching stream.
Listen, man, don't be the prize. They try to push it on mine. Don't be the prize, man.
Are filing antitrust, but
I don't know how baseball did it, but
the collective bargaining
got
that was
right.
LeBron would get $600 million a contract. No,
right, and the Knicks,
right,
and all these other teams' contracts that they with the network.
The only way that can happen, they got not all the money got to be guaranteed. That's the only way.
That's the only way. No,
I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
That's why if you remember, the NBA was on NBC in the 90s, right? After a while, they said we don't want it no more. It's not making us any money.
No, that's not what happened. ESPN gave a better offer. They bid on the contract. ESPN
They don't do that no more.
Yeah, ESPN outbid NBC. They took
right, but here's the thing though. What other? I mean, if let's say if NBC or Fox got a bigger, they bring out a bigger bag, they're gonna take that bag. You know what I mean?
The NBA, but I just think that these players today, while great, they're manufactured because they're looking for the next one.
Y'all signal cutting out. Hey, y'all. I hate to shut it down, but we got to shut it down for the night, man. We've been going 3 hours strong. I don't like to keep y'all here too long. I got some other stuff I got to attend to.
Thank you for
what's up? Oh, yeah. Most definitely, man. It ain't about me. I be wanting to hear what y'all got to say. Yeah, I ain't trying to hear myself talk all night.
I need my rematch. Hey, Elder's still in there. I need my rematch, man.
Hey, True the King, man.
Yeah, I need my rematch, man. I still feel how I feel. Listen, like I guess listen. My how I feel is how I feel. It was just a debate, but I ain't like how that young B. I kind of lost that, man. I
want to get
like you know what I mean. It was. What'd you say?
I want to get you one day for saying Kobe top 5.
We can do that tomorrow. Oh, we can do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, KJ.
You going to tell you about your smoke.
Hold on.
Tell you about your smoke.
To be honest, I actually like some of KJ's takes.
Let it go. Bow out.
Hey, I be hated on me on that other channel.
Man, I don't know why. I actually like some of your takes.
Yeah. It's redundant though.
It is.
What's redundant? Are you talking about me?
Nah, me.
You be KJ, yeah. When you be talking about, I'm talking about KJ. When you be saying his points, he be saying, he be having all right points, but it be redundant.
Them niggas don't be answering my question.
Listen,
KJ, You can get to smoke with anybody tomorrow if you want it, KJ. We give out cash prizes. We put the cash app on the line tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
But I need
let me know.
I need my rematch with Elder though, man. That was like I felt like when Rocky and Apollo had that draw, and I was in the hospital. I got my ass whooped. I still got my ass whooped. So like,
oh man, hey, let me get up out of here though, man. We'll be back tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir.
Have
a good night, man.
Hey, yes,
right,
sir. Hey, appreciate y'all for helping me get over
Elder
15K.
Murder moved you true.
All right, y'all. Hey, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good one. We out.
all right, catch y'all.